It's Big 12 today on Big 12 Radio, powered by Modelo, a Tuesday edition. This is the Big 12 Conference. This is a different league. You are listening to us on TuneIn, on Big 12 Radio, watching us on Big 12 Studios, the Big 12 Fast channel. This guy is Artie Timken. I'm James Westling. We've got T-Chains, Taman producing on the audio side, our buddy Anthony on the video side. Here in hour number one, we go down to Waco to talk with Bryce Cherry, the beat writer for Baylor men's basketball for the Waco Tribune-Herald, to get an update on the top scoring team in the Big 12 and the latest on James Najee, the once drafted NBA first-round draft pick. He never signed a contract. He's playing at Baylor. There's a lot of talk about it. Big 12 basketball, will preview some of the games tonight, talk some college football, playoff, what's right, what's wrong. Good morning, Artie. How are you, my friend? Why do you look confused?
Yeah, the James Najee situation is it's weird because they've singled out a guy more so than anybody else that they could be singling out, like European players, and it's bizarre. It's almost as if there's this disdain for the NCAA and that there's really nobody in charge, and so because of that, because there's no leadership and there's a lot of confusion and a lot of different things going on, I think like people are lashing out in a way. Like we saw him get booed in the TCU game, and coaches are lashing out. It's like they're not upset at Najee, they're not upset at Scott Drew and Baylor. They're upset at the situation. But I just don't know why we're singling out this guy when like every roster in college basketball has European players that have played professionally. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. This guy was drafted, so it's different. He was a bust.
Yeah,
he hasn't played an NBA game. You're a first-round pick, and you go with 2 seasons without playing in an NBA game, you're a bust.
Right. Like, it's not like he was just drafted. He was drafted 3 years ago, and he got booed every time he touched the ball.
There's a reason
in Fort Worth.
He's playing in college basketball right now.
And coming off the bench. Like, he's not A.J. DiBonsa. He comes off the bench, he plays 19 minutes, and every time he touches the ball for those 19 minutes, he heard it from the crowd. I thought it was weird, too.
Yeah.
One thing we didn't chat about yesterday, you strike me, you two, Taman, as two guys that are all about and have a long list of New Year's resolutions. Something tells me that
I'm still working on my New Year's resolution from 2024. So
yeah, I just something told me that you had a hard stance on New Year's resolutions.
So in 2024, going into 2025. My New Year's resolution was, in 2023 going into 2024.
2 years ago.
My New Year's resolution was to read 12 books a year.
Okay.
I was going to read a book a month. My New Year's resolution from 2024 going into 2025 was to read 12 pages a day.
How many books did you read in the last 12 months?
It doesn't matter.
Over, under 2.
So now I'm working on 5 pages a day.
Okay.
I just keep, every year, I'm just reducing my New Year's resolution. I want to read more. Unfortunately, I'm like at the age in my life where I feel like I should be reading more and I'm not. And what I want to do is read every night before I go to bed.
Okay.
Just 5 pages, James. Yeah. Imagine how many, nobody could do the math on this, obviously, as it's unknown how many days there are in the year. And if I'm reading 5 pages a day, who knows how many pages
If you read 5 pages a day, you'd crank out at least 2 or 3 books a year.
That's something.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So basically, until I can actually follow through with the New Year's resolution that I made 2 years ago, I'm kind of done with New Year's resolution.
To be honest, I give you a lot of credit for having the book angle. Like, that's a very healthy, good thing to do. Most people just go health or wealth.
Yeah.
I want to make more money. I want to be more healthy. I want to exercise. Like, it's just health or wealth.
The wealth thing? Oh, I also want to make more money. My New Year's resolution of this year is to make more money. I'd like to do that.
So
I did not take the Ari approach of reading. I don't think I've read a full book since high school, and that's even questionable.
High school? Okay.
Yeah, that's questionable.
But you can read them on your phones now.
I know, but
just saying,
I just read articles. I can't read a whole book. I don't have the attention span for it, but I did go the health route. You guys are both dads, so I can get some advice here, me being a newer dad. I used to jog about 3 miles at least 3 days a week. But ever since my son was born, that ended. How can I get back to that? That's my goal. I like to jog.
Okay.
But I don't have the time because my toddler runs around and he's very active. So it takes away from things that I want to do from my health in terms of going to the track.
I would say it's all about mental fortitude.
Well, that's my
You
resolution.
set
I
aside
need
a
mental
30-minute window 3 times a week, and that 30-minute window, nothing else matters. You make it happen.
Noted. I don't
Busy
know.
guy, James.
Whether it's 4 a.m., whether it's 8
Oh, God.
p.m., I'm not saying it's going to be convenient. It's
Yeah.
really hard to do. It really is. It's very hard to do.
When does it get easier?
It doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, never.
Noted.
Pretty much, Taman. So there's no light at the end of the tunnel. 40 to 45% of Americans make New Year's resolutions, and most of that is between the ages of 20 and like 30.
You know that 36.7% of all statistics are made up?
I've got I have verified numbers here. Okay.
Got it.
These around 8 to 12% of people, only 8 to 12% actually successfully keep the resolution. So you're like 90% of Americans in that you failed. 80 to 90%.
Actually, I'm going to stop making New Year's resolutions. I'm going to make mid-year resolutions.
Like a mid-season award.
Yeah. Like, why do we have to reshuffle the deck? See, the thing is, like,
let's do it in July.
Ended a period of time that's kind of like the dead period of the world, like the week between Christmas and New Year's, where some people work and that's great, but a lot of people are, have a lot of time off during that period of time. So it feels like going from that to like something that's like heavy discipline is like a real. You need to be like in the middle of a week or a series of weeks of like full on discipline. You can't go from like, yeah, I was eating McDonald's and Wendy's all day every day for a week, and like drinking all day. You can't go from that to like now I'm going to start working out.
Like it's a new year. I'm going to totally change my lifestyle.
25 pounds of the week between New Year's and Christmas and New Year's.
Carrying a little holiday weight.
A lot of holiday weight.
Gotta
Can't you see? I'm
ease into
engorged. Look at me.
I thought it was.
I look ridiculous.
You trimmed the beard. So roughly 25% of people, only a quarter of people that make New Year's resolutions make it through the first 30 days.
So basically, like half of Americans make New Year's resolution, and none of them
And
follow
only
through with
a
it.
quarter of those people that make New Year's resolutions make it through a month.
That's why I try not to go to the gym in January because I don't need
Super busy. By mid-February, it's completely
I
cleared
don't need
out.
I don't need all that riffraff.
Yeah.
It's too much riffraff.
So in other words, it's New Year, same me, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. New year, new you. New year, same you.
Yeah.
Right? All right. Well, my New Year's resolution is to get my driver's license before the NCAA tournament expands again. So if I can do that, I think I'll be in a pretty good spot.
Where are we on that?
We're making a lot of headway. So I've got all the legal stuff cleared up.
Good.
Right? I've got all my
You're no longer a fugitive of the law.
right, which was
for now.
unknown to me, but it's I've worked through that. Yeah, so I'm good there. My next step is to go get my plates. And you have terrified me for that experience because you told me that, long story short, it's really expensive. And
My experience when I moved to Texas years ago was that Texas, the taxes on because there's no state income taxes, they make up for it in other ways, like taxes on vehicles. And so just the difference between what I paid for the vehicle in the state of Illinois, where it was purchased initially, versus the taxes on it that you pay in the state of Texas, you have to pay the difference between those two. It was my understanding of it. So it
Got
kind
it.
of comes down to how much taxes you paid on the car when you bought it.
Okay, I see. Well, either way, I don't.
They
wanna,
make you pay the difference,
I don't want to cut that check.
which doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I think a lot of
Bought the car in
states
a
do
different
that.
state, but now you live in this state, you got to pay us the tax.
Yeah, that's a fair point. It's a very fair point. So, anyways, I don't want to cut the check. That's what I'm kicking that can down the road because I don't want to cut the check.
Okay.
That's it. But we're getting there.
Yeah.
Probably after basketball.
After basketball.
Yeah, we'll get through basketball season. And
All right, if you see this face, please, you know what to do.
but no, I'm driving legally now, so that's exciting. Driver's license is no longer suspended. I don't have a hard copy. Do you know how embarrassing it is to carry a passport everywhere? Like, I have to show my ID a lot. I'm in and out of airports, hotels, and I have to whip out this passport.
James, are you a legal U.S. citizen?
Yes, I am, Taman. I have
Just
the
had to
passport
ask.
that would
All right.
that would clarify any questions you may or may not have.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, so we're good. We're good there.
People always think when you're like at a hotel giving a passport, like, let's call like the supervisor, like, is this okay? Like, something wrong with this guy? Should I be on the lookout for this guy? Is
Right.
there?
That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
Like at the airport, it's a pretty reasonable thing, right? You're at an airport. That's probably the place that you should have a passport. But anywhere else, it's kind of like, oh, this is a little bizarre,
Yeah.
a little weird. Seems a little intense.
No, I don't disagree. I don't disagree, and I don't like it. What I do like...
Makes you look like a criminal is all I'm trying to say.
Totally. Absolutely. What I do like, though...
Fits.
I do like this gangster move by Texas Tech. So Texas Tech just signs Brendan Sorsby to a $5 million contract. And if you want to see it on Big 12 Studios, Anthony's going to pull it up for us. Texas Tech put the announcement of the signing of their next quarterback in New York City. Texas Tech put an ad in Times Square celebrating the signing of Brendan Sorsby, who, by the way, they made the highest paid quarterback in college football. It's a $5 million deal. And there it is, below The Lion King, the world's #1 musical. Welcome to Lubbock, Brendan Sorsby, downtown New York City.
Yeah, I can't imagine the confusion from people in New York City, like wondering, are they in Lubbock or are they in New York City? There's a clear distinction and differentiation between those two cities. But, this shows, I think, what Texas Tech is trying to do, right? Not just spend money, but do it in a huge sort of way. And, this stands out, right? Like, this wasn't just about Brendan Sorsby. This was about all the other future recruits, players they want to sign, right? Like, look at how big we are. This is how big we are.
I mean, that's how you build a brand. Texas Tech is building a brand.
Let me ask you something. Is $5 million too much to pay for Brendan Sorsby?
Yes. Yes.
How much is too much for Brendan Sorsby?
I mean, I'd have to look at what some of the other quarterbacks are getting. But
Sam Levitt's getting 6. Is 5 too much for Brendan Sorsby?
if Sam Levitt's getting 6 and Sorsby's getting 5, then I would say no. I would say the market is just too high for these quarterbacks.
I mean, I think, like, ultimately, you've got a situation where, like, you have experienced quarterbacks that are going to have a pretty big market because, otherwise you've got to develop or find diamonds in the rough and then develop those guys. In terms of, like, this guy's ready to go and be an elite quarterback, Sorsby at the top of the list. So I don't know that he's overpaid, quote unquote. I think market value, quarterbacks are important. And just ask Texas Tech because of what they just dealt with in the Orange Bowl. So, like, there's a ability to go above and beyond. But I wonder what's happened to Brendan Sorsby the last 2 seasons.
Yep. And that's my number one question is where did he go each of the last 2 years?
Yeah.
I mean,
Is it just Cincinnati or is it?
This is a pattern, right? It happens one year, okay. But back-to-back years where you lose your last 4 or 5 games, however many it was, and he just wasn't the same quarterback. And I think the price tag on these quarterbacks is too high. If I had my pick between Levitt and Sorsby, I would have leaned Levitt. Now, maybe he'll prove me wrong, but I don't see Brendan Sorsby as that much of an upgrade over Baron Morton, who Texas Tech just had. He had arguably the best offensive line in terms of protecting the quarterback in the Big 12 this past season. So it wasn't that. It wasn't that he was pressured down the stretch. They upgraded massively at wide receiver. He had 2 of the best running backs in the conference. Like, he had arguably the best tight end in the conference, who had just broken Travis Kelce's receptions record 2 years ago. My point is, he had plenty of pieces around him in Cincinnati. Why did the drop-off occur down the stretch? Like, that's where you need your quarterback to go out and win you football games. And that's what Texas Tech needed in the college football playoff.
Right. But
I'm not sure he's the guy.
But at the same time, who else is available out there for Texas Tech to go after?
Very true.
Right. So that's where, like, is he worth it? I don't know, but he's certainly worth what the market's willing to bear, and the market was willing to bear that.
Mm-hmm. Now, where I do think he could be a tremendous fit is from a culture perspective. I think Sam Levitt's the better quarterback on the field. Off the field, I lean more Sorsby. He seems like more of a team guy. Yeah. The way he carries himself, all of his teammates in Cincinnati just rave about him and the person that he is. But he struggled with his confidence, and that was a big reason why he kind of had the ups and downs that he did in Cincinnati. And at the beginning of the year, the coaches were saying, Scott Satterfield and crew, that he was just balling out in practice. They couldn't wait to see him. Well, he goes out against Nebraska and he lays an egg. They said he really struggled with his confidence. And then over the next 5 or 6 weeks, he's phenomenal. But then, and we didn't have Coach Satterfield on past week 8. But towards the tail end of the year, I just wonder if he got in his own head and if he started to kind of question his ability like he did towards the tail end of the 2024 season.
Yeah. And look, I mean, it appears as though Leavitt may be on his way now to LSU and not Kentucky. Kentucky flipped the quarterback Kenny Minchie, who had committed to Nebraska. Mm-hmm. So that tells me that with Leavitt going on a visit to LSU, that he's most likely now going to LSU. And so I think that fits. He and Lane Kiffin will be perfect for each other.
Yeah.
And, it's a pretty good quarterback to add if you're LSU. But this is, for people upset about the money that's out there right now for quarterbacks, this is what the market will bear. It's really interesting, too, because if you're a late quarterback, if you're a late, pick at the quarterback position, like Shedeur Sanders, you're you're not going to get as much money in the portal or in the draft as you might in the portal. Basically, unless you're a first-round pick at quarterback, it's a pretty high likelihood you should go back to college because you're going to make more money in college.
Which is why I think that aspect of it is really good for college football. Is Brendan Sorsby, if this wasn't an NIL era, would be off to the NFL. He'd probably get drafted, probably around where Shedeur got picked. And Texas Tech, their signing of Brendan Sorsby, he's going to earn more in one season of NIL than the value of Shedeur Sanders' entire 4-year NFL rookie contract. So Sorsby's going to make more this upcoming season in college than Sanders' entire 4-year rookie deal because he got picked in the 5th round.
Well, and remember, he is a 6th-round pick. His spot is not guaranteed in future seasons. So, not only is it more money than he'll make on paper, that's not even the true value of what Shedeur could make on paper because he could be cut after the season. Mm-hmm. And it'll be interesting to see what Cleveland does moving forward. Kevin Stefanski's been let go. The Browns now, by the way, on their 6th head coach in the last decade. Just insane. And, Shedeur had some really high highs this year and some really low lows. I think he was the lowest graded quarterback via Pro Football Focus. So there's definitely some flaws there. But, at the same time, here's a guy that was kind of thrust into a bad situation for a bad team at the end of the year. So how much, take some of his stats with a grain of salt as he's, becoming a starting quarterback in the NFL for the first time. But it'll be interesting to see what Cleveland does at coach and what they decide at quarterback.
Cleveland has made the playoffs how many times since 2003?
Once?
Twice.
They
made it in 2020 with Baker Mayfield, and then they made it
a couple years ago.
In 23.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco. At quarterback. All right, he's Ari Timken. I'm James Westlane. This is Big 12 Today on Big 12 Radio. Coming up next, we'll look at Big 12 basketball, some of the weekly awards, and just how much the Big 12 is solidifying itself as the number 1 conference in America. Some of these numbers will blow you away. And then Bryce Cherry, the beat writer for Baylor men's basketball for the Waco Tribune-Herald, joins us at around 7:40 Central Time. We're off and going here on a Tuesday. He's Ari, I'm James. This is Big 12 Radio. This is the Big 12 Conference. This is a different league. Back inside Big 12 today here on Big 12 Radio. We are brought to you, the full-time fan, by our friends at Modelo. We've got some men's basketball games of the week this week here on Big 12 Radio with Texas Tech at Houston. That'll be tonight right here on the channel.
Big-time matchup.
Massive, right?
Houston has the best defense in the Big 12, one of the best defenses in the country, and Texas Tech makes the most threes per game in the Big 12, so something's got to give.
Texas Tech's JT Toppin is the Big 12 Player of the Week. Had 23 points, 14 rebounds, made 10 of 19 shots against Oklahoma State, his 8th double-double of the season. That leads the conference. And then Arizona at TCU is also going to be our game of the week, but that game is on Saturday, correct?
Correct.
Saturday, Arizona at TCU. Skullmeyer Arena, by the way, TCU, it only seats like 7,000 or 8,000. Arizona has a huge contingency of fans that are going to be in attendance for that game. In that arena, I just wonder how much of a true home court advantage TCU is going to have, because Arizona's got a ton of alums in the area, and their SID was saying that they're going to try and pack it with Arizona fans on Saturday. All right, Big 12 has 7 teams in the AP Top 25, most in the country. A.J. DiBonsa is the newcomer of the week, second straight week in a row. He is now the nation's leading scorer in the month of December, in which BYU went undefeated. They went 6-0. He averaged 28 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2.5 steals.
Yeah, 23.1 points per game. So he's leading the nation in scoring, as you mentioned. And I think P.J. Haggerty's right below him at 23.0 points per game. So close, but DiBonsa's, he's been the exact piece that BYU has needed. And he looks every bit the part of the number 1 overall pick that he could very well be.
My only concern with BYU, the only thing I look at is that with the injuries that they've had, they don't have a ton of depth. My only concern with them is, do they get worn down towards the end of the year? Like we've seen with some teams. Last year it was Iowa State. 2 years ago it was Houston. Like, can they hold up over the course of a Big 12 schedule? But they'll play 2 fewer games than everybody did a season ago, so that certainly helps. But the Big 12 Player of the Week, so we've had Players of the Week now 9 different weeks, right? So we've had 9 different awards. There's been 9 different guys that have won it.
Wow.
Big 12 Player of the Week, it's been somebody different each and every week in this conference. DiBonsa, who you saw the highlights there on Big 12 Studios, is the newcomer, but the Player of the Week is JT Toppin. This league is just so incredibly deep.
So who are the 9 players that have won Player of the Week in the Big 12 so far?
So there's actually 10, because week 1 you had a co-Player of the Week. It was Koa Peeth at Arizona and Christian Anderson at Texas Tech. You're seeing JT Toppin and his stat line on Big 12 Studios. He's this week's winner. But then Kingston Fleming's at Houston, Haggerty at K-State, Joshua Jefferson at Iowa State, who's the only player in the country that's averaging more than 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Milan Momcilovic from Iowa State was Player of the Week. By the way, he leads the nation in made threes per game. He's hitting over 4 a game. And then it was your Melvin Council at Kansas, and then Christian Anderson again at Tech, and A.J. DiBonsa.
I thought you said there's not been repeats.
I didn't realize Christian Anderson was a co-Player of the Week, week 1. There's still been 10 dudes.
Well, 9 dudes, right?
9 dudes, you're right. 9 dudes, 9 weeks.
Unless you're going to count Christian Anderson twice. And I think, regardless of how incorrect your information is, it says about the depth in this conference. The thing that I notice about this conference is stylistically, like, there's just a ton of different ways that these teams in this conference play. Think about Texas Tech and Houston. We're going to see a major contrast of styles in tonight's matchup. So I think you've just got, like, elite offenses, a lot of different, varying styles of those elite offenses. Look at the way that Arizona plays. Look at the way Iowa State plays. Look at the way Texas Tech plays. And that's the kind of stuff that I think gets you ready for the tournament, because you're going to see different styles. You don't want to see teams that play the same style every game. You want to see different styles so that you can get ready for, how you have to adjust to your style based on your opponent. So I think that's what stands out more than anything. And look, in the Big 12, this is true every year. and this is true in college basketball at large, but probably more so in the Big 12 this year specifically. Win all your home games, split on the road. You'll be a top 4 seed. If you win all of your home games and split on the road, you are going to be a top 4 seed of the Big 12 this year. Now, it's easier said than done. It's a good league, but that's the path.
The teams at the top, I think the league is better this year than the SEC was last year. Now, I don't know that the Big 12 is going to get like 14 teams in the NCAA tournament or whatever that crazy number was, but the teams at the top are better than I think what the SEC had last year. And yes, that includes Florida and that includes Auburn. But also after that, who is their third or fourth best teams? Like the Big 12 has multiple teams ranked in the top 3 nationally, with Iowa State at number 3 and Arizona at number 1, which is the 41st time the Big 12 has had multiple teams in the top 3 since 2010. ACC is the next closest with 15. And then so many teams on absolute heaters right now. You've got Arizona, Iowa State, Houston, and BYU all in the top 10. Houston's number 7, BYU's number 9. Texas Tech is number 14, and then BYU's at 22, which is way too low. And then UCF checks in at number 25. Arizona's won 14 in a row. Iowa State's won 14 in a row. UCF's won 11 in a row, and BYU's won 10.
You must have overlooked Kansas. Where's Kansas on that list?
Yeah, I don't see Kansas. Kansas right now.
That's a weird one. It's a weird one, right?
Yeah, 7 teams in the top 25, and Kansas isn't one of them.
Yeah. What a time to be alive. Really fun time to be a Kansas basketball fan, I can tell you that much. Can you feel the sarcasm?
Like, when's the last time? I can't think of a time where Kansas was the 8th best team in the Big 12.
No. And if you talk to anybody around Kansas, it feels like, oh, everything's fine. Like the house is burning down around them and everything's fine. Oh, okay, sure, yeah. Oh, no, he's injured. Got it. Derek Peterson's injured. Got it. Cool. Noted. What did you say? What was the other thing you said? Oh, UCF being ranked is huge. I think, their win against Kansas, regardless of the antics of Derek Peterson, show you they're legit. Like, that's a very good team. And especially because, like, they had to overcome a lead that Kansas had, then kind of hold on late after Kansas made a surge to try to tie it. So, impressive. The SEC is what you're talking about. I don't know that the Big 12 is as good as the SEC was last year. We'll see. I think they did get 14 teams to the dance.
Yeah, they did.
2 to the Final Four and a national championship. So if the Big 12 gets 2 teams to the Final Four and wins a national title, then I'd say that goes a long way. And look, I think that's very much in play here.
Who was the other team that made the Final Four? It was
Auburn.
Florida and
Auburn.
Auburn made it.
Florida beat Auburn in the semifinals.
Okay. Keep going.
That's it.
Florida beat Auburn in the Final Four?
Yeah.
Okay.
Houston beat Duke.
That's right. Good call.
Yeah. I just looked it up.
Don't look. I just looked it up.
Don't look. I looked it up.
Before we get to Bryce Cherry, who is the beat writer for Baylor men's basketball for the Waco Tribune-Herald, just to kind of add some context to the conversation around James Najee, I think we should play some of these clips. Taman, let's start with Jamie Dixon, because Jamie Dixon is a guy that usually is pretty close to the vest, doesn't have a lot to say publicly, but the TCU coach who just beat Baylor, he shared his thoughts on Baylor's signing of James Najee.
I just admire that they had the money to go do it. I mean, that's the ultimate. That's ultimately what they did. I mean, they're committed. We have professional basketball with no cap, no draft, no rules, no interpretations. It's not on writing, and it's you can be as good as you want to be. You can be as good as you want to be. I mean, we've seen that in football, and you can see that in basketball. How good do you want to be?
Hey, Jamie, don't hate the player, hate the game. Just because you don't have the money to go out and add doesn't mean that you should be upset that Baylor does. And look at Baylor's football team, Jamie. They've lost everybody. They've got money to burn.
That's a great.
Everybody's gone.
To me, he didn't sound like he was. He didn't sound.
It was
like
very
he
matter
was,
of fact.
Yeah, even upset about it.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I give him credit. Like they've got the money to do it. Go do it. And that's the thing. All these coaches that are so adamantly against it, I don't think they're against Baylor. I don't think they're against James Najee or Scott Drew for making this move. They're against the system and the fact that this is even a loophole. Now, Baylor's the first to find it. They won't be the last until the NCAA or whoever does something about it. Here's Cam Carr. He's a 20-point-per-game guy, by the way, top 3 scorer in the Big 12, the Baylor guard. This is one of James Najee's teammates talking about his response and how he fits in.
Our arms are open for him. It's going to be home. We don't have any negative views on it. I mean, I was a midseason transfer last year, and I feel like I got a lot of hate for it. And so you kind of just got to accept the role you step into and know that it's not going to be easy. There's going to be negative opinions and all that stuff, but we're here with open arms, ready to accept him. We're excited to have him and just get to meet him and learn how he plays.
And Baylor's a great fit for this because Baylor had to overhaul their entire roster. Like, Baylor's one of only 9 teams, I think, in the country that didn't bring back a single player.
So I'm confused as to what people are upset about specifically. Are they upset about the fact that he was draft pick? Are they upset about the fact that he was added mid-season? Like, what's...
To me, it's the NBA. It's the NBA tag. That's it. Like Cam Carr said, I was a mid-season transfer. I took a little bit of, crap for it. But he wasn't getting booed every time he touched the ball. He wasn't getting hate mail because he left his school mid-year at semester. To me, it's only because James Najee was drafted. That is it. And I think if people had more knowledge of the situation of what's happening with college athletics, they'd be more upset about all these international players who are playing professionally in the Euro League before they come over here.
Yeah, like this dude didn't even play professionally. Right? I mean, he has not played in an NBA game.
No.
So when you have guys that have come over and have already played professionally in Europe, it's a little bit different than what Najee's done.
Like, where was he actually playing is what I'm trying to find.
The G League.
He was in the G League.
Yeah.
Okay, he wasn't playing in some international league?
Yeah.
He was in the G League.
Yeah.
To me, the competition internationally at some of these higher level leagues is better than the G League. So it's only because he played in the NBA Summer League, he was drafted, he never signed a contract.
But I also think about this from Jamie Dixon's perspective, right? Like Jamie Dixon and TCU, like his expectation is he's got to make the NCAA tournament. That's the expectation for TCU every year, right? Expectations are different for every program, but Dixon has at this point in time the expectation at TCU that he's going to get to the tournament. So he looks at this as, oh, this helps Baylor midseason. So he probably had already evaluated Baylor. That's where I think they are relative to us, right? So now this kind of changes his evaluation of the situation.
Yeah.
And the arithmetic involved in how many teams can get in for the Big 12 and are they one that's in or out?
Oh, yeah, the scouting report for Baylor has changed drastically because they were hurting on the inside, and they've added a 7-foot rim protector who can rebound and looks like a guy who's played in the NBA, even though he hasn't. It's a major addition, and he's only going to get better. Let's talk with Bryce Cherry, the beat writer for Baylor men's basketball for the Waco Tribune-Herald, coming up next to get more insight on what's happening down in Waco. I'm headed down there tonight for Iowa State and Baylor. I'll be on the call on Peacock tomorrow, so can't wait to hear from Bryce. He's Ari Timken. I'm James Westling. This is Big 12 Radio, powered by Modelo. Back inside Big 12 today here on Big 12 Radio, brought to you the full-time fan by our friends at Modelo. Tonight on the channel, we've got Texas Tech at Houston here on TuneIn. This is the Big 12 Conference. This is a different league. He's Ari Timken. I'm James Westling. And we go down to Waco to chat with Bryce Cherry, beat writer for Baylor men's basketball for the Waco Tribune-Herald. Good morning, Bryce.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Man, we're good. We're excited to chat with you about not just everything that's happening in Waco with a huge win for the women. The men have a big one tomorrow against Iowa State. But we were just playing some clips from Cam Carr, who's been off to a hot start for the Bears, and then Jamie Dixon and his comments about none other than James Najee. So with all this James Najee stuff, I'd love to know, how did Baylor get connected with him? Where did they find him? And how did this all go down?
Yeah, those are great questions. I'm not sure I can unpack it all, but I'll give it a shot. Going into this season, Scott Drew had a completely new roster. When I say completely, they returned 0.0% of their scoring, rebounding, assists. It's college basketball in 2025. 2026, I guess. And so, they had three big men on the roster. That was an area that Scott wanted to get, deeper at. Last year when Josh Ojonwuna went down with an ACL injury in the season, they had to kind of go small. They didn't really have a lot of depth in the front court. So they got three big men. Caden Powell is one of those guys. He's a Waco guy, and he's in the rotation. And then Jocelyn Bodo was a two-time Big South Defensive Player of the Year from High Point. Brought him in. He was kind of expected to be the starting center, and then they brought in kind of a project, Mayo Soye, true freshman, who, when they recruited him, they told him, okay, we'll redshirt you the first year. Well, Bodo ended up having an injury over the summer that just hasn't really healed, and they stuck to their promise to Soye and to redshirt him. So they really only had one big man on the roster in Caden Powell, and so with Bodo not being able to play, they started exploring the idea of adding a midseason transfer. And in terms of how they found him, that's a great question that I'm not sure we've gotten necessarily the answer to. But, he's only been with Baylor since Christmas Eve in terms of them announcing the signing, the transfer. But, they added him as a midseason transfer. He's, 21. He's obviously has created a lot of buzz because he was an NBA draft pick in 2023. Has played in the Summer League a couple times, but has never played in an NBA preseason game, a regular season game, has not signed an NBA contract. Thus, the NCAA cleared him. Baylor did all its due diligence in terms of compliance and everything, and he's been cleared. And it created a buzz because, it's not ordinary for an NBA draft pick to be playing college basketball, though not unprecedented. And I actually mentioned this to Scott after a press conference one day. I said, Scott, you may know your basketball history, but Larry Bird played a season of college basketball after being drafted. And he said, Dennis Lindsey told me that. Dennis Lindsey's the VP for the Detroit Pistons, former Baylor guy. So Scott does know that now, but back then the rules were a little different, and the Celtics took advantage of drafting Bird with his original graduating class, even though he still had a year left to go. He played a college basketball season after being drafted by the Celtics. So this isn't unprecedented. It's a different situation. But I get where some of the consternation is because a lot of coaches just don't really know what the rules are these days.
Yeah, and I guess, do you think that this consternation is justifiable?
I mean, no, just because Baylor did its due diligence and he's eligible to play. It's not like they cheated. That's not Scott Drew's mo. I mean, you're talking about a guy who came in and 22 years ago and took over one of the worst situations in college basketball history. It was when you have a player that has murdered another player, that's a pretty bad scandal. Um, and and he cleaned it up, and and they went through the dregs in terms of there was a season where they weren't able to play any non-conference games just because of some of the fallout of that scandal. Things that happened before he was there. But Scott has run a clean program.
Right.
So he's not one that's gonna, cheat to look for an edge. But he's also, I thought his comments after they announced the signing of Najee. Then we had a press conference at some point, before their next game, and we asked him about it, obviously, and he was. One of the things we asked about was some of the comments that other coaches were making, including Tom Izzo, and I think Dan Hurley has had comments, Calipari, and he said, he talked about Izzo because I think that's who we asked him specifically about, and they had a conversation, and it was a good conversation, and but he said, "Look, I mean, I've got a responsibility to try to make us as good a team as possible." That's what we're paid to do, is what he said, which is true. They're paid to win games, and so he's added a guy that he hopes can help them win games.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest takeaway for us, is that these other coaches are mad that Baylor found a loophole and that Baylor made this move. And in some ways, in a lot of ways, I think they're jealous, especially when you look at James Najee and his skill set and the fact that he's 7 feet tall, he's 255 pounds. Like, he looks like a guy who's been playing in the NBA. So what does he add to their roster just from an X's and O's standpoint?
Well, he got in the game the other day against TCU. That was his first chance to play. And did some good things. And in terms of what he adds, I think it will develop over the course of the season because obviously he's only been with the team, days now. I mean, he came in, right at the end of, or right at the beginning of last week. So, I mean, he's, his first game, he'd only been practicing with the team like just 2 days, 3 days. So, he's still got a lot to learn in terms of their offense, defense. But I think he'll be a rebounder and a defender, no question. And offensively, he definitely has, some moves in the low post, and I think can be a little bit more than just like a rim runner. I think he'll give Baylor kind of a low post scoring presence, and obviously add depth because now Caden Powell, the other big man, can just come off the bench and be that that reserve that basically Baylor signed him to be. So I think, Najee brings a lot. I don't think he's going to come in and be Zach Edey. I don't think he's going to be a National Player of the Year. And so people that are freaking out probably can tap the brakes on that. But is he going to make them better? Yeah, I think he'll make them better.
I'm curious for your thoughts on the football side of things, Bryce. And with what has happened to this roster, the signing class, do you think Linda Livingstone realizes she made a mistake here?
No, I think she's probably sticking to her guns, and I completely understand the situation when it comes to bringing Dave Aranda back. because Baylor was in a situation where they were going to have to make a move at athletic director, and essentially that saved Dave Arena's job for at least another season, or perhaps middle of next season or sometime early next season. When if Baylor gets off to a really bad start, I can see them making a change.
Yeah.
But it did not make a lot of fiscal sense. Just a lot of sense overall for Baylor to try to hire an athletic director and a head coach in a cycle where a lot of schools were hiring a head coach. So I get why they brought him back. It's not been a popular move among Baylor fans. This program has kind of stagnated, and so we'll see. Yeah, they've had some transfer portal exits. They've had a lot of, they had several defections in the signing class. The transfers that they've brought in so far, I don't think are just popping off the page. So who knows? I mean, maybe they'll surprise everyone, but I may be a little skeptical on that.
Talking with Bryce Cherry, the beat writer for the Waco Tribune-Herald, covers Baylor. Who are the big names that won't be back next season? Like, I saw that running back Bryson Washington is in the portal, but any other surprises to you?
Colton Price, one of their best offensive linemen, and to me the biggest loss, more so even than Bryson, is Keaton Thomas. He was, Baylor has not had a good defense the last couple seasons, but he was easily, far and away, their best defensive player, an all Big 12 linebacker, and kind of just a fiery guy. When they lacked energy, he always brought it. He just that's just the way Keaton Thomas plays. He was one of the leaders on that team, along with Sawyer Robertson and Josh Cameron on the offensive side. So, yeah, Keaton leaving, I think, is a big loss because he still had another year to go, and you can't blame a guy, maybe trying to look for a better situation, maybe a little more wins, but he was a guy that I think they were going to count on as a defensive leader next year, and obviously that's a big loss for them.
Bryce, appreciate your time, man. Looking forward to I'll be down in Waco for tomorrow's game, Iowa State and Baylor, which is a huge game for the Bears. They've won.
Yeah, no question. They've got two big ones this week. Obviously it's the Big 12, but Iowa State tomorrow at home and Houston Saturday at home.
Oh, massive week for the Bears. Appreciate your time, and we'll catch up soon.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Bryce.
Bryce Cherry covers Baylor for the Waco Tribune-Herald. Baylor has Iowa State at home tomorrow night. They've beaten Iowa State in Waco 10 of the last 11 matchups, but then on Saturday they get Houston. And coming up next here on Big 12 Today, on Big 12 Radio, we'll go around the conference. Preview of tonight's men's basketball games, including Texas Tech at Houston, and a throwback, a refresher on what happened last year in a wild overtime thriller when these teams met down in Houston. He's Ari, I'm James. This is Big 12 Radio. We are brought to you by Modelo, here exclusively on TuneIn and Big 12 Studios. Back inside Big 12 today. This is the Big 12 Conference. This is a different league. With Ari Timken, I'm James Westling. He's on social at Ari Sports. That's ARI Sports. I'm on social at James Westling. We are powered by Modelo. Modelo fan rule number 30 and 30A. If your team wins ugly, that's called grit. If your team loses ugly, that's called officiating.
30A, huh?
It's always the ref's fault.
Always.
Speaking of refs,
Except when it's not, which is always.
remember last year's Texas Tech Houston game?
I feel like I do. Can you refresh my memory here, sir?
Went into overtime.
Okay.
Texas Tech beat Houston
That's right.
82-81 early in the first half.
Never in doubt.
This week's Big 12 Player of the Week is Texas Tech's JT Toppin. Well, last year in this game, he didn't play because he got slapped with a flagrant 2 foul and ejected, like before the first media timeout.
That's right.
Grant McCaslin went bananas, argued the call. He got thrown. So you've got Toppin out, you've got McCaslin out, and Texas Tech still goes on to win the game. Texas Tech upsets Houston in Houston last year.
Do they play twice a year? Is this one of the 2 matchups per year situations?
The answer is yes to that.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Taman.
Thank you, Taman.
They play at Texas Tech on January 24th.
Okay, that'll be a banger. Tonight's
And
game.
by the way, I was incorrect about James Najee. He's playing in Europe, not in the G League. I apologize about that.
Dude, like, just check your stuff. Yeah, he was
You know what?
playing in,
No.
he was playing in Barcelona. You know, I caught that too during a break, but I wasn't going to call you out because I didn't know. I didn't know either. And I should have known. I should have done my research, and I did not. So, yeah, he was playing in Europe. Texas Tech and Houston is tonight. It's on FS1. It's not on ESPN. It's on FS1. And that game is at 9 Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. Our buddy Chancellor Johnson also deserves a shout-out here because he notes that Houston, they don't play BYU or Kansas or Iowa State at home this year. Those are 3 marquee matchups that they only play those teams once, and they play them on the road. So their two biggest home games at the Fertitta Center this year, one of them's tonight against Texas Tech, and the other is Arizona. They play Arizona at home at some point this season. So it just magnifies how massive this matchup is. Texas Tech is coming off a 22-point win against an Oklahoma State team that I thought could hang in that game on Saturday, and Houston eked out a game that they won because of grit and toughness. They won on the road at Cincinnati. As we preview this matchup, what stands out?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned this earlier, but this is a contrast of styles. Tech makes 11 threes per game, which is number 1 in the Big 12, and Houston's holding teams to 60 points a game. So, we'll see which one of those has to give in this game. Especially Houston has been very good, historically under Kelvin Sampson at running teams off the 3-point line. I would imagine if you have the stats in front of you from the Texas Tech Houston game last year that Tech probably hit a lot of threes, especially without Toppin. So, but Houston's defense is a great stress test across the country, across the Big 12. Anytime you go up against Houston, you're going up against a defense that, you're not going to see any defenses in the tournament that are better than Houston. So it's a great stress test, I think, for the rest of the conference.
Let's see.
But I don't think Tech has been as good so far this year as they were at the time in which they beat Houston last year.
Agreed on that.
Now, when did that game occur? February?
It was February 1st.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was a month later than they're playing this year. And Texas Tech hit 12 threes
There you go.
in that game. I mean, Texas Tech is very much built like they were a season ago.
Right.
Like, they look the same. The only difference is they have some losses in the non-conference that they didn't have last year.
And they've got some guys out with injuries.
That very much is it. Like, they had some major pieces that did not play in the loss to Purdue. They had another loss, and it's kind of like, how'd they lose that game? And it's because they weren't at full strength. But they've hit 10 or more threes, to your point, in 10 of 14 games this season. Toppin and Christian Anderson need a third guy because Houston's with what they do defensively, they're going to limit those two. Like, I don't think JT Toppin and Christian Anderson are enough for Texas Tech to win this game.
There's 3 very good games tonight, by the way. And then one, I'm not going to call it an elimination game, but certainly seems like that. You know, Kansas and TCU play at Allen Fieldhouse. We'll see the status of Derek Peterson. He wasn't, quote-unquote, on the injury report or injury list. But, you know, he really hasn't been all year, and he still hasn't finished a game. So, fingers crossed, can Derek Peterson actually play for a full game? We shall see. Stay tuned to find out. Can he start a game and finish a game in which he feels 100%? I think not. We'll see. And then you mentioned, you know, the Texas Tech Houston game is one that stands out. And then how about UCF Oklahoma State? Oklahoma State's 12-2. They're hosting a UCF team that's feeling good about itself, ranked in the top 25 for the first time in a long time. And then the elimination game is Cincinnati and West Virginia. Cincinnati's been a huge disappointment. They're just 8-6. West Virginia's 9-5. Year one under Ross Hodge. And that game is at Morgantown. So 4 games tonight, 3 big-time matchups. I mean, 3 matchups featuring teams with at least 10 wins. So should be fun.
So the TCU-KU game, I'm glad you brought up the injury stuff again because...
How could you not? It's pretty much the entire season of Kansas's season. Story of Kansas's season.
But in Big 12 play, these teams have to put availability reports out there. And this is only the second night, if you will,
Right.
because it's not required in the non-conference. But once you get into conference play, it's like football, which I just found out this weekend. I didn't know teams had to do this for basketball.
Yeah.
Is he on the availability report?
No. Nobody is.
Nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
So Peterson's expected to play. Whether he plays 5 minutes or 35 minutes, nobody knows.
Well, and then, so after the Kansas loss to UCF, Bill Self mentioned a minutes restriction. He said it. We didn't just make it up out of thin air.
Right.
And so here's what Bill Self said yesterday in walking back those comments.
I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer. With that being said, I said minute restriction. That minute restriction is there's no guarantee. There's not a medical evidence saying only playing this much or playing that much or anything like that. The one thing I would say, playing less in the first half is something that we haven't done. So if we haven't done it, would that possibly impact the second half? So don't know, but I'll wait and see how he feels. He felt really, really good the other day. And, you know, played obviously pretty well the first half, but the second half after the first TV timeout obviously needed to come out and then sub him in and makes a 3 in 15 seconds and, you know, need to come out then too. So don't think for a second that he didn't play down the stretch because of minute restriction. He didn't play down the stretch because, you know, his legs didn't allow him to do that. So you know, hope like heck that it'll be better, but we don't quite have the formula yet in how to do this. Nor does anybody have the formula. Everybody can be a quarterback from Monday morning quarterback or whatever, but I don't think anybody has the answer specifically on how to handle it. Other than the fact he feels well. He's playing. He feels well, and certainly just not quite to the point where he can probably go extended, like for we need him to go. So, long story short, I don't really know.
By the way, he just talked for 1 minute and 15 seconds, and he pretty much just could have said the last thing that he said.
Yep.
Long story short, I just don't know. He said, this is a quote from Bill Self that we just heard. Mm-hmm. Don't think for a second that he didn't play down the stretch because of a minutes restriction. He didn't play down the stretch because his legs didn't allow him to. He is 18 years old.
Bro, if he's not on a minutes restriction, don't say he's on a minutes restriction.
Right. We didn't make that up out of thin air. We didn't just create that. You literally said that following the game. And then you come out and be like, well, don't think for... And just this, everybody bending over backwards to bring up the fact that he wants to play. He wants to be out there. I mean, you know the best way to show that you want to play and want to be out there? Playing.
So who doesn't want him to be out there? His mom, his dad, his agent? Who is it?
He doesn't.
And like Bill Self says, we don't have anybody that knows how to handle this situation. Yeah, you do. Team doctors. He can either play or he can't.
Right. Well, the team doctors are saying he's fine. He's not 100%. Like Bill Self said it weeks ago. He's not 100%. He's not going to play. Well, he's not going to start a game and finish a game 100% because there's wear and tear that occurs over the course of the game. I'd imagine that you're going to start a game and finish a game at 75% most games.
And like the thing that I see why Kansas fans are so frustrated with what could be for this Kansas basketball team is the fact that when he's on the floor, he's a walking bucket. He had 26 points in 23 minutes against UCF. And Kansas has played, according to KenPom, the number one strength of schedule in terms of team defense. They are playing the best defensive teams in the nation. They are number one in defensive rating strength of schedule. And he is still going out there and scoring more points than he's playing minutes.
Yeah, but it's to me, it's far, there's far too much. Despite what Norm Roberts said to us yesterday, like it's not worth it.
Yeah,
the juice is not worth the squeeze here. This is far too toxic to what's happening in that side of that locker room. Because as much as Bill Self wants to tell us and everybody else wants to tell us how much he wants to be out there, the only way to really show us that he wants to be out there is by being out there and playing and showing your teammates that. And I'm sure his teammates have his back to a degree, but there's going to be games on the stretch of the season where they're like, bro, what's the deal here? His legs didn't allow him to go. He's 18 years old. That is the craziest crock of crap I've ever heard.
I think the frustrations should more be centered around the fact that if he was on the floor and if he was playing, like Kansas would have a chance to be a really, really good basketball team and look like the Kansas of old because he's that good when he's out there. So I definitely see the take of we're at a point in the season where he either needs to be full go or not go at all. But, man, I'd really want to see him at full go because he is an elite talent when he's on the floor. He wasn't on the floor late in the second half against UCF. Kansas loses the game. You brought up this UCF team who enters the top 25 for the first time in forever. Johnny Dawkins was praising his team after their win over Kansas and talked about the standards that need to be met to compete in this league.
Well, it's important, to get off to a good start, and it's more important about how we play. And we talk about we're not playing the opponent in front of us. We're trying to play our standards. And, we have certain things we want our guys to do well every night, and we try to hold them accountable for that. And I thought, they understood coming into this game. A lot of those guys hadn't played in the Big 12. They hadn't played in the conference like this. And so I knew it would be their first time, and I just wanted them to go out there and just, follow their hearts, play for each other. And I thought they did that. And that's what you want to see happen, on a nightly basis. This is one of 17. We have 17 more that's going to be just like this. That's what I've seen in this conference. And so you have to have a short memory and move forward because you have so much to compete against that's going to be equally as competitive.
Man, give Johnny Dawkins a lot of credit because they lose Keyshawn Hall in the portal, and it looks like that program is on the edge of just totally bottoming out. And they have not. They're 12-1. They overhauled the roster. They didn't go get these high-profile transfers. They went and found a lot of mid-major guys that were really good players. They're 12-1. They've got a big game tonight at Oklahoma State. I think maybe two of the biggest surprise teams in the Big 12 so far to this point in the season.
Well, and Riley Kugel's a guy that started at Florida and put up, what people classified as some empty statistics, big-time scoring numbers on a bad team or bad teams. He transfers to Kansas. He was the first player to announce he was transferring to Kansas, and then after an onslaught of players announce, including A.J. Storr from last year's team and Ryland Griffin, he decides he's not going to go to Kansas anymore, and now he finds himself at a UCF team, and I think he's in many ways dispelling some of the issues that people thought he had at Florida, where it's like, oh yeah, he's a me-first guy, he just wants to be scoring. I think he's doing a lot of little things for UCF to help them into a winning basketball team. I think the pieces fit for UCF more so this year than what we've seen from them in recent history. And it's fun to watch because Johnny Dawkins is a good coach. Hell of a coach.
And he's done a lot with a program that doesn't have a lot of support when it comes to basketball. They don't have a lot of history. They've never really been good. They had one good season where they had Johnny Dawkins' son who was leading that team, and they almost upset Duke, remember, in the second round of the NCAA tournament. But UCF stuck with him, and I love their point guard. Themis Folks, averaging 7 assists per game. Mid-major transfer from Milwaukee, who was overlooked in the portal. He's from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. He's bounced around. He went South Carolina State and then Louisiana and then Milwaukee. And at UCF, like, he's been a dude. He's been a true catalyst for them.
Well, and it's funny because we focus so much in the transfer portal on the Brendan Sorsbys and the Sam Levitts, and we overlook the Fernando Mendozas, right? Fernando Mendoza, when he transferred from Cal to Indiana a couple of years ago, was not a known name, and he was seen more of as a bus driver last year. And now look at him; he's a Heisman Trophy winner and leading the #1 team in the nation. So, I think a lot of times it's the Themis folks that and the Melvin councils that become the most important and players for teams. The guys that really feel like they're in the right spot. I mean, A.J. Storer has been kind of out of the rotation at Ole Miss now because of the same things that plagued him at Kansas and Wisconsin. Like, these are guys that they never take responsibility when things go wrong. They're never at fault. It's always somebody else, right? I mean, it's the big name guys sometimes that you can get lost in terms of the transfer portal, and we focus so much on the big numbers and look at how much money this guy's making, and yet there's so many under the radar moves that help shape the college basketball, college football season.
Yeah, I mean, Council's a great example of that. Folks is a great example of that. I think about Marquise Noel and what he did at K-State and Arkansas Little Rock transfer.
There's more examples of guys that came out of nowhere.
Joshua Jefferson for Iowa State is a transfer from St. Mary's. He averaged 8 points per game his one season there, and look at him now. Like, these mid-major guys that are diamonds in the rough, to your point, there's just as many of those as there are
$5 million guys you can play at quarterback.
Mm-hmm. And Oklahoma State's got a roster built with guys like that. UCF and Oklahoma State tonight. The other game, we've got Cincinnati at West Virginia at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. Texas Tech and Houston as at 9 Eastern on FS1. And TCU at Kansas at 9 Eastern on ESPN. Speaking of Sorsby, transfer portal tracker and what is market value right now in the college football transfer portal, and some coaching updates as well as we pivot back over to football up next on Big 12 Today on Big 12 Radio, heard on TuneIn, watched on Big 12 Studios. Back inside Big 12 today here on Big 12 Radio. Heard exclusively on TuneIn. This is the Big 12 Conference. This is a different league. Hour number one, we had Bryce Cherry, the beat writer for Baylor men's basketball from the Waco Tribune-Herald. If you missed that interview, you can go back and hear it wherever you get your podcasts from, Apple, Spotify. Right here, TuneIn on demand. We post all of our interviews there, and we're talking women's basketball with Rachel Galligan, who does work for ESPN, is a scout overseas. She'll join us here in about 15 minutes. Baylor got a top 10 road win at Iowa State. Taliah Scott, who hit the game winner for the Baylor Bears, she's going to join us at about 9:20 Central Time, so about an hour from now. But let's dip into some transfer portal updates. The top 25 transfer portal rankings are changing like hourly. Oklahoma State has the number 2 rated transfer portal class in the country. As of this morning, Texas Tech at number 5. Arizona State has picked up some big-time commits. They're up to 6 now and number 8 in the transfer portal top 25. And Iowa State, Coach Jimmy Rogers, give him credit. He's basically bringing his entire Washington State defense with him to Ames. They're up to number 13 in the transfer portal rankings. Big 12 portal entries. Oklahoma State has lost 60 dudes to the portal. Iowa State 51, West Virginia 41, Colorado 31, and then Baylor, UCF, K-State, KU are all in the 20s. Anybody else that I didn't mention have had 15 or less, so less roster turnover there. But also, Ari, you added that the cost of players in this cycle, like not only are there more players than ever, 2,200 guys enter the college football transfer portal within the first 24 hours, but now it is true payroll management. You've got these $30 million rosters that power conference general managers are trying to manage. The cap is already being pushed out the door by top programs. It's like the booster turbo button is being hit for college football. The floor for a quarterback is around $1 million. For a power conference starter, Drew Mestamaker, who committed to Oklahoma State, he's coming with Coach Eric Morris from North Texas, signed a $7.5 million deal that's 2 years, not 1 year, 2 years. This is like an NFL contract where if he breaks it, there will be penalties. It's like 3.5 and then 4 next season.
Yeah, and, I mean, again, without a collective bargaining agreement, players can break these contracts that are 2-year deals, and it's up to the school then to try to enforce it. And so far, we haven't seen many schools try to enforce it. Looking back at last year's final transfer portal rankings, I think could be interesting. You know who number 1 in the transfer portal rankings in 2025 was?
If I remember right, it wasn't Texas Tech. They finished number 2.
Yep.
Was it LSU?
You got it. Great season for LSU with their 18 transfers, including 12 4-stars. Texas Tech was 2nd. Miami was 3rd. Ole Miss was 4. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Oregon 5. Okay. Florida State 6. Missouri 7. Auburn 8. North Carolina 9. Kentucky 10.
Okay.
Does that tell you anything?
So this is a great comp because it tells me that it either works really well or it goes very poorly, and there is absolutely zero in between. 4 of the 5 teams that I think you just listed are in the college football playoff semis.
Including 4 of the top 5 overall.
And then, 6 through 10? Missouri, I think, was the only team in that group that even made a bowl game.
Yeah. You go back and look at the 2024 transfer portal rankings. Number one was Ole Miss. Number 2 is Oregon. So Oregon and Ole Miss have been in the top 5 the last 2 years. Alabama was 3rd. Texas A&M was 4. Texas was 5. This is the 2024 transfer portal.
So I would say that group all hit. Because, remember, not all of these transfers are like one-and-done guys.
Correct.
Ole Miss has built their team and their program through the transfer portal, like Indiana has. And then there was one other you just mentioned.
Oregon.
Oregon and Texas A&M. That was the other. They had a top 5 transfer portal class 2 years ago, and a year later, they're in the college football playoff and had a really nice season, even though they got bounced by Miami.
The other thing that's important to note about those teams is they also recruited at a very high level. Ole Miss is not in the same conversation, but Oregon, Texas A&M, Alabama, right? Like, these are all programs that are recruiting at the high level. So the idea of you've got to, like in the NFL, you've got to draft really well and then figure out at free agency where you didn't draft well to supplement the areas of concern. And I think that's what the major college football programs are doing right now. You still want to draft and develop. You still want to recruit high-level players and develop those guys, but you've got to figure out a contingency in case some of the positions don't work out as well as you thought they were and create depth elsewhere. There's no straight line here. Yeah, I think we could try to look for correlations, but the reality is, like, a lot of it is on fit. I think Texas Tech hit a home run this year, and it seems like an anomaly when you look at Miami for 2 years in a row was top 5 of the transfer portal market. Ole Miss, Oregon, those are 3 programs that recruited at a high level that obviously hit the transfer portal at a high level. Texas Tech hit in a big way because they got the pieces that fit properly, and then they coached them up right. So for Texas Tech, that's the most optimistic story you can tell going into 2026, is they hit a grand slam year one with the investments they made, because very few programs have made that much of a significant jump in 1 year just through the portal alone, and that's what they did. Teams make a jump to the portal, but like Indiana's not on this list. Indiana in 2024 or 2025 was 25th. 25th. Last year's portal class, Indiana was 25th. In 2024, Indiana, the first year of Kurt Signetti, 30th.
Wow. And they brought in a high volume of transfers that just weren't rated as high as some of those other programs, and it's all fit.
26 players were rated as 3 stars according to 24/7 Sports. Most of those guys from James Madison, which is where Kurt Signetti came from. When they improved by 5 spots this year, 25th, 18 were viewed as 3 stars. So 247 is misevaluating. By the way, one of those 3 stars in 2024, Fernando Mendoza, Heisman Trophy winner. No correlation here whatsoever. Right?
I mean, that is developing players at its finest. Now, Texas Tech will have some guys that still have eligibility and can come back. Ben Roberts, the linebacker, A.J. Holmes, defensive lineman. John Curry was only a sophomore, started at linebacker. Bryce Pollock was only a junior. He can come back. Offensively, I look at Coy Aiken, who's only a junior. He can come back. Howard Sampson, the offensive lineman. Jacob Ponton, the redshirt freshman, was starting at the end of the year. Terrence Carter has said that he'll be back, the tight end, and then Cameron Dickey. So they're actually going to have just as many returners.
And does Quentin Joyner have more time? Because remember, he got hurt this year and didn't play much. So I wonder if he'd be back.
Is he in the portal?
I don't know.
Man, let's see.
Because if they're going to lose Jacoby Williams, they're going to need a guy like Jacoby Williams, who's Quentin Joyner.
Yeah, it looks like he's not. I mean, he's been quiet, which is a good thing for Texas Tech.
Yeah, I mean, I think all these guys are negotiating at this point in time, right?
Yeah. And then you add Austin Romaine, you add Sorsby, they've already picked up
Trey White, the San Diego State pass rusher, who has
Trey White,
29 tackles for loss the last 2 seasons and 19.5 sacks in the last 2 seasons. Not bad.
They picked up.
He's no David Bailey, but he's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they've added depth pieces on their defensive line rather than those big splash.
But I think it's important to note here a couple of things. And thanks for that chime there. I guess you got a text message. One of the things.
Yours? Yeah, it says. Thought it was you this whole time.
No, I'm not connected. There's no audio coming from mine. Lost my train of thought. Yeah, the transfer portal. There's no correlation here. Like again, the ultimate takeaway here is, yes, you've got to play the transfer portal right. You got to bring in the right guys, and then you got to coach them up. It's more about finding the RKGs, the right kind of guys that fit what you're trying to do, that maximize what you've got. That's more important than anything else. So, I mean, we could sit here and say like, oh, the straightest line between winning is the transfer portal, and then you look and you're like, well, LSU led the transfer portal in 2025. It didn't have a very good season. Indiana has been the masters of the transfer portal, and they were 30th of the transfer portal rankings according to 24/7 in 24 and 25th in 25. So it's like, well, shows how much they know. They've misevaluated the Indiana players. So we know it's important. You've got to hit, but how those players are evaluated, is based on how good your coaching staff is at evaluating and developing those players.
Arizona State has cracked the top 8 in their transfer portal class so far. They picked up a big commitment yesterday from Omarion Miller, the wide receiver from Colorado, 6'2", 210. The top wide receiver, one of the top wide receivers in the portal. I think ESPN had him at number 2 or number 3. They've picked up their quarterback in Cutter Boley from Kentucky, who's 6'5", 220. Like, he's a dude. And then they low-key added a running back from Villanova, who's 6 foot 225, and was one of the best FCS running backs in the country. He was a finalist for the Walter Payton Award. He was an all-league running back. He set a Villanova freshman record for rushing yards in a season with about 1,000. So that's like a 3-star guy that could really help Arizona State next year. We'll see. All right, Rachel Galligan, our women's basketball analyst, will join us next here on Big 12 Today on Big 12 Radio. Baylor takes down Iowa State. Texas Tech is off to their best start in program history. And Utah, a shocking upset over the weekend over TCU. We'll look at the AP Top 25 on the women's side with Rachel as well. That's next. This is Big 12 Today on Big 12 Radio, brought to you, the Full-Time Fan, by Modelo. Big 12 Today here on Big 12 Radio, heard exclusively on TuneIn, watched on Big 12 Studios with Ari. I'm James, and we welcome in Rachel Galligan talking Big 12 women's basketball. We'll have Taliah Scott on the program, the Baylor women's basketball guard who had a monster game against Iowa State. She joins us at around 9:20 Central Time. Rachel, good morning. What's up?
Good morning, everybody. Happy 2026.
Same to you. Happy New Year. Do you do New Year's resolutions?
I do. I think I might kind of roll over what I did from last year, and you're going to laugh. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of this resolution, but my resolution last year was to listen to only 80s and 90s music.
And did you do it?
I did it. It was awesome.
You did it for an entire year?
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, I can't prevent hearing certain music,
Right.
But on my own Spotify or whatever, I definitely had my yacht music, my yacht rock music, my grocery aisle music. It was great. Oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
Wow, Rachel
I was
Galligan.
so happy.
Anti-modern music. How about that?
Only 8% of Americans make it through the year with their New Year's resolution.
Wow, it's interesting.
So you were in elite company.
What's your guys's?
We didn't really do one.
James doesn't
Yeah.
have any. He doesn't. He's so perfect. He does not resolve to do anything.
That's it.
fair.
No, I
That's
need
fair.
like a list of like 30 New Year's resolutions just to get through the day.
Let's get us one.
Okay, I'll come up with one.
Oh,
Give
so
me a
many.
minute. Just give me
So
a
many
minute.
to choose from. There's
So
like
many.
30.
Just give me
I
one.
just can't think of
Just
one right now.
Time out. Stop biting my fingernails.
Okay,
That's
good.
it.
That's a good one.
That's it.
Good.
Every year. Every
That's
year.
a genetic predisposition. Good
I've-
luck with that one.
Is that a genetic thing? I've never
sure it
succeeded.
is.
I thought it was just major anxiety. So that makes me actually feel better.
Which could be a genetic predisposition.
Rachel, some massive upsets. Baylor winning at Iowa State. Utah takes down TCU. What was the biggest surprise over the weekend that we've seen so far on the women's side?
I guess if we're talking surprises, I'm a little surprised at TCU dropping that one to Utah. Very interesting game. I mean, Utah was really good, and I think they kind of reminded us that this is a program that has, a certain type of system that they run. They share the basketball exceptionally well. They can shoot the ball exceptionally well. I thought it was really interesting to see TCU just kind of. They had 75 shot attempts compared to Utah's 54. You have that kind of difference, and you're not going to lose that many games. But it really came down to Utah's 3-point percentage. They shot 57% from the 3-point line, 13 of 23, 48% from the field. So really good win for Gavin Peterson, kind of a signature win, I think. In some ways he is a first-year coach, even though he kind of took over the program midway through the season last year. But I was really impressed with Utah. That was definitely one of those wins where it turns your head. But then also for TCU, I mean, I am extremely high on TCU. I think this is a team that can go to the Final Four when they're clicking on all cylinders. And so this is the first time I've seen them look, quote unquote, human, if you will. And that's what the Big 12 will do. I mean, you're going to be tested every single night, and you're going to get everybody's best shot every single night. So was definitely interested to see kind of them have struggle offensively because they've been so good offensively. I'm more interested now to kind of see how they respond, right? How does TCU take a loss like this, bump down in just a few spots in the rankings, and how does this propel them forward for the rest of the season?
I mean, the defensive effort in this game to me was the biggest piece, Rachel. I mean, this is the best defense in the Big 12 in terms of points per game. I think at 53,
Yeah.
51.9. So they gave up 87 in this one. So
I know.
what did they do to them?
I mean, I only was able to catch really the second half of that game. I think Utah was really locked in just on specific rotations that I saw in the back half. I mean, and sinking down on certain players. I mean, Marta Suarez is extremely important to what TCU does offensively. She ends up, 8 of 21. She still had 23 points and played the whole game. But I think they did a really good job at just contesting her shots and making her kind of take contested jumpers and just making her just a little bit more uncomfortable. Obviously, Olivia Miles has 31 points, and it's going to be really difficult to slow those two down in particular. But they really didn't allow anybody else to beat them. Maddie Shear, 0 for 5. 0 for 5 from the 3-point line. That's a player. They need her to be able to be giving them 7 to 10 points a game, if you will. Clara Silva, I mean, that's a she's got great height at 6'6", 6'7", limiting her just to 10 points. That's a huge advantage in the paint. And so I think they did a really good job of making Suarez uncomfortable and shooting kind of more contested shots than what she's used to. And then just not allowing anybody else to have a big night. I mean, it was really just those three. Donovan Hunter, of course, is going to get hers. But after that starting four, and Maddie Shears held scoreless, there was really nobody else that scored in that game.
And the other big upset of the weekend was Iowa State losing. So two of the three undefeateds went down this weekend. I'm curious if there's something that Baylor did to Audie Crooks that is maybe a blueprint other teams can follow, because Audie Crooks was not as good. It feels like Baylor didn't really allow her to get to some of her spots that she's normally used to getting to, and threw different looks at her. Just curious kind of your overall thoughts on what Baylor did with Iowa State.
Yeah, I actually I was really interested watching this matchup because Nikki Collins going to do something. Baylor is such a good defensive team, and her schemes at times are fascinating to me, and how she's going to kind of defend and have her team play that game. Audie Crooks goes off for 20 points in the first half. We're all thinking, okay, this is what Audie does, and you cannot slow her down. And I was asked on studio last week, what do you do to slow Audie Crooks down? And I made a joke. I said, you hope for the best. But that second half in particular, they basically chose to play the percentages, picking your poison, if you will. It chose to take a player off of Jada Williams and basically sat her on top of Audie Crooks. So at any time during the game, you had a player sitting on top of Audie Crooks and a player, on the side or on behind. So they were playing 2 to 3 players surrounding her at all times. And that really limited her touches, and that limited her even being able to get the basketball. Only had 6 points in the second half. And that forced Jada Williams into taking uncontested wide open shots. And then let me tell you, that really messes with the player's psyche at times. When you are literally in a crowded gym on a national TV game and you're standing there wide open, and Baylor's literally saying, we dare you to shoot it. We want you to shoot it like you beat us. For that to happen over and over and over, that messes with your psyche a little bit, without a doubt. At times Jada Williams was hesitant. You could tell she was working through it. She knocked down some big shots. I mean, she ends up with a career-high 28 points, but that was Nikki Collins and her staff playing the percentages a little bit. We're going to make you shoot way more than what you're comfortable shooting. She shot 28 times in that game. That is very unusual for Jada Williams. And so, obviously, Audie Crooks finishes with 26. Jada Williams has a career-high 28. I think one of the biggest differences, too, is they did a really good job on Addie Brown. Addie Brown can't afford to go 1 for 7. She's kind of I don't know what's the right word, the key, the X factor for Iowa State, if you will. And so, I mean, just defensively, a really interesting gamble. A lot of times, you play those percentages and it doesn't work out for you. But I think this was a game that Baylor had a great game plan, and you're exactly right. This will be studied by opponents in the future, just trying to find ways to slow Audie Crooks down and make somebody else beat you. And I can guarantee you Jada Williams and her coaches are talking about that, because everybody wants to know what's the recipe to beat Iowa State and slow down Audie Crooks. Well, Nikki Collins just showed us.
Rachel, is Utah an NCAA tournament team in your eyes?
Yeah, I think they have the potential, without a doubt. I mean, it's still kind of a newer system, that's not what I'm trying to say. A newer team, if you will. But I think you've got some players on this team that have really gotten my attention, if you will. They're deep with L.A. Snead, Lonnie White, Maddie Wilkie, Reese Ross. And then you look at kind of their bench, Evelina Otto, who is just in her first year from Latvia. So I think that they can be. I mean, they're 11-4 on the season, 2-1 in the Big 12. To me, they're entering into that category of, okay, is this a dark horse that could make a deep run and really? I mean, obviously they can beat a TCU. That's a great quad 1 win and resume builder. I think after that win, anything's possible if they can take care of business from here on out and win the games that quote unquote they're supposed to win, if you will. Yeah,
well said. Texas Tech, they're legit, huh? Still the only undefeated team in the Big 12, 3-0 in conference play. They're incredible defensively, allowing 52 points per game. What stands out to you about this team, and are they a legit, title contender for the Big 12?
I gotta check myself sometimes because I call their home games, and so I've got an up close and personal perspective of Texas Tech, and sometimes like you get so narrow-minded and focused on one program, you had to remind yourself like bigger picture.
Right.
Is this team legitimate? I think they are, and I think they are because they are one of the oldest teams in the country. When you look at Power 4 programs, the 2 oldest are TCU and Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech's defensive ability is one of the most impressive I've ever seen. It's not that, they just like speak about it and they say they're tough and they come out and that they do what they do, or they're playing a cupcake non-conference. They were challenged in the non-conference. I mean, they played Mississippi State. They played Arkansas, and I know these are teams that are, Arkansas on the lower end of the SEC, SMU lower end of the ACC, but took care of business handedly. And so, I mean, everybody loves offense. There's no doubt about that. There's a lot of offensive weapons on this team. You've got 3 players averaging over 14 points a game. Snetta Collins is your leading scorer coming off the bench. That's a very unique rarity and luxury if you're head coach Krista Gerlich. But their defense, 4th in the nation in field goal percentage, defense holding teams to just under 32%. Like you said before, holding teams to under 52 points, which is tied for 3rd in the country. They're 5th in the country in 3-point percentage defense, holding teams to 22% from the 3-point line. So you've got a really good mix of depth. They're incredibly disciplined on the defensive end of the floor. We all know that travels. You can bring that anywhere in the country. That's going to travel. And let me tell you, this staff, they don't let anything slide. They don't let this team feel good about themselves. They're calling out every missed rotation, every missed block out, every missed, lack of communication. They're really on it in terms of how they coach this team. And then when you combine that with a veteran team that has a lot of mature players who've played a lot of college basketball games, who have a sense of urgency that they want to win this year because this is their last go around together. I mean, you've got the perfect combination here. And I'm just really happy for Krista Gerlich because she's put a really great team together from top to bottom, from her coaching staff to her team. And they really do, they stay very level-headed about all of this and just take it one day at a time.
How did Texas Tech, we're talking with Rachel Galligan, our Big 12 women's basketball insider. Texas Tech is 16-0 to start the season, outscoring teams by 24 points per game, and they're top 20 now nationally in the net. They have a road win at Baylor as well. So how did they build their roster? Is it, I look at Texas Tech, and they're pretty much good at every sport right now. Football, men's basketball, softball just had a historic year. Is it the same type of thing with women's basketball where they went out and had the budget to go get whoever they wanted?
I would say no.
Okay.
No, that's not the case at all. And obviously, I don't know if you guys saw the news. They did just sign a 7'1" center from Nigeria. I had an opportunity to meet her the other day as well. That was probably one of the biggest some of the biggest news in sports this week. But
is she playing? No. Sorry, Rachel. I apologize. Is she eligible this season, or is that for next year?
That will be determined probably in the coming weeks. Hopefully, fingers crossed, there'll be a decision from the NCAA this week or next. After the holiday break, everyone's getting back to the office. But as of right now, that is to be determined. We do not know if she will play this year or not. But that is the hope. They are hoping that she can play this year. And when you talk about this roster, no, it's not the type of situation where, they've got the budget to go get anybody in the world they want. I would say it's more of a just realistic, average Power 4 team, that has a certain type of budget that they're working with and limitations. There are limitations. And so that makes this even more fascinating is Krista Gerlich and her staff had to work extremely hard in the portal and in the offseason to make sure they were bringing in the right pieces. And first and foremost, it starts with making sure that Bailey Maupin was able to play more of a natural position. We have not seen Texas Tech with a true point guard in the past, so they go out and they get Hema Nunez, who is a transfer from Campbell. And she's made all the difference in the world from her toughness, her defensive ability. She's ranked in the country in steals and in assists. She really gets this offense going. She controls the pace. She plays exceptionally well with, Danae Fritz and Jalen Bristow and Bailey Maupin. Really a true point guard who's going to help get into the paint, collapse the defense, and generate high percentage shots. She is maybe one of my favorite players that I've had a chance to be up this close and personal and watching. She makes all the difference for this team in terms of just, facilitating, but also her toughness. She really embraces their press, really sets the tone along with Danae Fritz defensively and how hard they play and turning people over and being disruptive. And so Hema Nunez was a massive addition, and she has made all the difference in this world. And then you add a Snetta Collins who wasn't even playing basketball last year. She played 4 years at Ole Miss was not playing. She was working last year, and then had an extra year of eligibility. And Texas Tech was able to make that addition, which is, you think about that, right? That's kind of a gamble. That's a really interesting avenue to take when you go bring in somebody who hasn't even been a part of a program for a year. And Collins has been fantastic. She's a matchup nightmare. She's incredibly athletic. And she comes off the bench for them, which is really unique to see the role that she's been able to accept, and also leading this team in scoring. So, and then the other one I'll just add real quick is Jada Malone. Really, really good presence in the paint, good footwork, good hands, high percentage. Has been a really good post addition for this team as well. So they worked really hard in the off season to get the right pieces, but it's not like they have some sort of magic budget that nobody else has.
Okay, very cool. Man, that's awesome. Rachel, they are legit. You are legit. We appreciate your time, and we'll catch up soon.
All righty. You guys have a good one. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
Thanks, Rach.
Rachel Galligan, women's basketball insider, ESPN, among many, many other platforms, Big 12 Studios. You can catch her all over the place covering women's basketball in a league that has 3 teams in the top 20 of the net rankings, with TCU still in the top 10, and then West Virginia and Texas Tech also in the top 20 on the women's side. We're talking with Baylor guard Taliah Scott, who's the Big 12 Player of the Week. She had the game winner as Baylor took down previously unbeaten Iowa State in Ames, dominated in the second half. She joins us in about 20. But coming up next, T-Chains will jump in here for Valid or Void. He's got the topics. We've got the answers. This is Big 12 Radio exclusively on TuneIn. This is the Big 12 Conference. This is a different league. Special thanks to our guests so far. Bryce Cherry, beat writer for Baylor. The Waco Tribune-Herald was in hour number 1. Then we had Rachel Galligan, our Big 12 women's basketball insider, just moments ago. You can catch those replays on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We are on Big 12 Studios on your screen. Tonight, Texas Tech at Houston is the granddaddy of them all.
The Rose Bowl?
It's a really high-level college basketball game tonight.
Wow, that's a lot of twang. That's
Right here on this channel. Well, you
a little
called
bit more
me
twang than I like.
Well, you called me a bumpkin again.
Country
Bumpkin during the break. So we're over the 1.5 on the over-under on bumpkin references on today's show.
Not 1.5, just one. We're at the under.
We've
still.
said it at least 3 times
On today's show?
on today's show. Just now. We did it just now.
Does it upset you when I say that?
No, it doesn't.
Does anything
Because
upset you?
I know I'm not a bumpkin.
You're like Teflon.
Who's Teflon?
It's a good thing. Like everything Teflon, nothing sticks to it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like anything I say, you're just. Meanwhile, you say anything negative to me, and I just crumble like a pile of bricks.
We'll have really high CE, confidence elasticity. Okay? Like a human punching bag.
Like my 2 kids.
Just bounce right back. Nothing gets me down.
My 2 kids could not be more opposite of that. One of my kids, like, you say something, like if his friend says something negative to him, he dies. Like, oh! My other kid, somebody says something negative to him, it's like the greatest thing that's ever happened to him. It's like if you want him to do something, just tell him he can't do it. And then he doesn't.
Yes.
The other one's like if you tell him he can't do something, he's like, I can't.
Yes.
I can't.
Dude, our boys are the same way. And I'll use reverse psychology on the one that will always say no. Like he's super adamantly against whatever I tell him. So if I need him to do something, I'll tell him he can't do it.
Yep.
And then bam, he's got it.
Yeah. See, the thing is you can't parent or coach people the same way.
Right.
Found that out.
Yeah.
And despite knowing that, I still try to do it.
You're basically Kelvin Sampson.
No, but I'm not, is what I'm
You're
saying.
not. Okay.
I understand that I've got to coach people different ways, but yeah, like I'm just too lazy to do it.
It's a lot of quiet yelling.
And it's not
That's my
coaching, it's
favorite.
parenting, I mean, it's like,
It's a full-time
who
job.
gives a crap about parenting, right?
They'll be fine. Like
The world parents your
you think
kids.
our parents were reading blogs on how to parent back in the day? No, they were just doing it.
No, that's why they're great.
Just figured it out.
Yeah,
And we will figure it out.
it's true.
And Taman will figure out if we are right or wrong. This is valid or void, Big 12 edition. Taman has the topics. Taman has done his homework. And T-Chains is going to jump in and walk us through this, and we will either validate or void these statements. What do we got?
All right, guys. First topic. Valid or void, UCF will be a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament.
Not Big 12 tournament, NCAA tournament.
So if they were a top 4 seed, that means that they would finish as an AP top 25 team.
Higher than that.
So what is the top 25 then?
I mean, the top 25.
Oh, that's right. You're right. That's 16.
Yeah, you can be ranked anywhere from like 20 to 25
So
and be a
it's the
7
top-
seed.
That's.
You got to be in the top, definitely the top 20.
I was
Probably
just thinking
the
of like
top
a
50.
from a math perspective.
16. 4 times 4 is 16.
Thank you. No, I got that. As soon as I said it, I realized how dumb it was. But thank you for really
Yeah,
heightening
4
it.
times 4 is 16, so it'd be the top 16 to be a top 4 seed.
Hey, you're about a second away from me calling you a country bumpkin.
Or punched in the face.
No, wouldn't do that. You just punch back and much harder. What was the questions?
Will UCF be a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament?
Go ahead.
You've clearly done your homework.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say that is not valid, so I'm gonna void it.
Oh!
I'm voiding it.
Why do you hate UCF so much?
I love UCF.
What did they do to
and they're
you,
off
Jay?
to a
What?
great start.
What on earth has UCF done to you to make you hate
But
them so much?
UCF would have to not just keep going at the rate that they are in terms of wins and losses, and marquee wins and losses, because they have 3 of them already. They've beaten Pitt, they've beaten Texas A&M, and they've beaten Kansas. They're really 3-1 against what I call quality opponents. That's a great record. But when you deep dive their analytics, okay, they're 2-1 in quad 1. They're currently number 42 in KenPom. 42 is a long way off from 16. They're 23rd offensively, 88th defensively. So they have some holes defensively. I don't know that they have the physicality to make it through this conference slate and be a top 4 seed in the we're talking NCAA tournament. if the tournament started today, they'd probably be a 7 or 8 seed.
I mean, they beat Hofstra.
Hey.
They
What
beat
did Hofstra do to Ari?
Mercer,
I love this team. They're going to
Towson,
be
and Virginia Military Institute.
Like-
these are big-time wins, James. Don't poo-poo these wins.
They'd have to really fall flat on their face to not make the NCAA tournament. So I'm going to say that they're going to be in that. But a top 4 seed in the big dance, like, dude, that's really tough to do.
Top 5 seed?
No, I think they're going to be like
Top
an
6
8-9.
seed?
8-9.
Top 7 seed?
8-9.
Top 8 seed?
7 to 10.
Okay. I'm going to say valid. They've just scratched the surface of their potential. I think this team is significantly better than what they've shown so far. And, yeah, their metrics may not be up to the test yet, but part of that's because they played Oakland and Florida A&M and Mercer and Hofstra. So their schedule's on the uptick here. Big game tonight at Oklahoma State. That will go a long way in helping solidify that because, again, if you win all your home games and you split on the road, you're going to be a top 4 seed of the Big 12.
So here's one thing about the Big 12 scheduling matrix. Remember, you don't play everybody twice, right? So there is some discrepancies in terms of your strength of schedule. Guys, UCF has a very friendly schedule. Okay, they play at Oklahoma State tonight. After that, they play Cincinnati at home. Then they play Kansas State. They've got a home game against Arizona State. One of the teams that they play, they've got home games against TCU, West Virginia. Oklahoma State's one of the teams that they're going to play twice. Cincinnati's one of the teams that they're going to play twice. Like, their schedule shapes up really nice. So maybe I'm wrong.
You are wrong.
You will be wrong. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, cool.
I can't wait to get this next topic from Ari. So the next topic is valid or void. Darren Peterson will not be on a minutes restriction during the NCAA tournament.
Void. James?
Wait. Hang on. I think that's backwards. He will not have a minutes restriction. You're saying he will then have a minutes restriction in the NCAA
I think
tournament.
it's pretty clear what I said.
Okay, wow.
Void, James.
Aggressive, valid or void.
I don't know if you know this, but so far we haven't seen him play. Like, I'd like to see him play a full game. Anybody else? Am I the only one here? Anybody else want to see Darren Peterson play a full game before I make any long-term broad proclamations of what he is or is not going to do this year?
Will his family decide to let him do it so the NBA can watch him
Yep.
in the NCAA tournament?
I say it's
That's
valid.
my thought on it.
The thing is, he doesn't need to. Dude could be the number 1 overall pick and continue to play the rest of the season just like this. Look at him. He's ridiculously good. It's why he's able to do this. It's why he's able to make $3 million, over $3 million a year. Jason can be like, I'm good. I played 23 minutes. I'm good. We're good. We're good here. Oh, is the game going on? There's still a game going on. Oh, I don't care. I don't care about the game.
His legs gave out, remember?
I don't know if you know this. I scored 26 points in 23 minutes. I'm good here. I've done my job.
Did his thing. Hit like 5 threes. I'm going to say it's valid, though. I don't think he's on a restriction come March for the NCAA tournament because that is the premier audition for the NBA. I think he pulls a Kyrie Irving, where once you get to the postseason, all of a sudden he's healthy.
I would love to hear what this negotiation went like. Hey, so you're going to pay him this, and you're not going to make him play the whole season. Yeah, but what about the NCAA tournament? Yeah, we'll see. Awesome. Let's sign him up.
Wow, so I agree with Ari on one topic, James on the other.
You think he will not be on a minutes restriction?
I don't think.
I think
he's
NCAA
just like Kyrie Irving.
tournament.
Yeah,
I think he's pulling a
he's
Kyrie.
going to play.
Have you guys been watching? Have you been watching?
Hey, Kyrie did the same thing. All of a sudden, he's healthy for the NCAA
Can
tournament.
we not bring up Kyrie anymore, please, for the love of God?
All right, next topic. Utah. We're going to football.
Okay.
Utah will be a Big 12 title contender next season under Morgan Scalley.
Contender. Let's say a contender is a top 3 finish then in the Big 12, which is what they did this year. I think it's valid. I think they're going to be really good. Devin Dampier will be back.
That's my question. Is he going to be back?
As long this comes with the caveat that Devin Dampier is back. Wayshawn Parker has eligibility. They had a redshirt freshman who was playing a lot of snaps for them on the offensive line. They've got like 4 offensive linemen that should be back next year. And OurLads.com does a great job of updating teams' depth charts in real time, and I see more returners than I thought I would see. I know Smith Snowden is in the transfer portal, and so he won't be back next year, and that's a big loss defensively. and those offensive linemen are gone. But I just think that Morgan Scalley with Devin Dampier back, the defense is going to be fine. Offensively, they just always have guys ready on the offensive line.
Void. The Will Smith meme, the last scene from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where he walks back in the house after it's been sold?
Everybody's gone.
That's Morgan Scalley.
Yeah.
Morgan Scalley's like back in the facility like, where'd everybody go? I think it's a bigger deal that that chime went off again. I think it's a bigger deal than people are giving on, that the coaching staff that he's had around him is completely gone now for the most part. So Devin Dampier being back is a big deal. I think like Oklahoma State's going to be dramatically improved. So while I think we should go into next season at this point in time with BYU and Texas Tech as two of the favorites based on who they bring back and what they did last year, I think a lot of how this thing will get filled out in terms of who the favorites are going to be for the Big 12 once we have a better idea of what these rosters are going to look like, which we don't totally know yet.
Yeah, he
But
has
Iowa
filled,
State, K-State, I'm not so sure about.
He has filled his staff defensively. He still has some positions, some holes to fill offensively, but he just filled his last defensive assistant coach opening with the Baylor defensive line coach, who's now going to be the D-line coach at Utah.
I don't think there's any question, though, about his ability as a defensive mind.
Right.
My thoughts on that is I'm going with Ari. I'm going Void. I think you're losing too many people in a short amount of time. I know we don't know the roster yet, but that's just my thoughts.
Okay.
Next topic. Valid or Void? Brendan Sorsby will be the Big 12's top passer in 2026.
Ari?
Void. I'm going to void this one. First off, I think Sorsby's not Sorsby, his skill set is beyond just being a good passer. We obviously know that he uses his legs. This is to say nothing about what I expect Sorsby to be next year. I think Texas Tech will be the favorite to win the Big 12. I think there's a good chance they're going to win the Big 12. I think Sorsby will have a really good year. But in terms of being the overall league passing leader, where was he this year? Fifth.
Yeah. He was fifth.
I think top five. I think he'll definitely be top five.
Brendan Sorsby threw for 20 more yards than Baron Morton and is getting $2 to $3 million more than Baron Morton got last year. Noah Fafita's back. Bear Bachmeier's back. Those two guys both had better numbers, albeit in a few more games, than Brendan Sorsby. So, no, I'm with you. Connor Wegman is another guy who is right there with Sorsby in terms of passing yardage. Is that what we're talking about, just passing yardage?
Yeah.
Yardage-wise, Texas Tech will be explosive, but no, I'm with Ari on this one. I think there's going to be more guys in the league that will throw for more yards. Drew Mestamaker's probably going to lead this league in passing, the Oklahoma State quarterback.
Yeah, that's a great point.
They're going to be throwing the ball all over the place, and he is...
I've got Avery Johnson leading the league in passing.
I agree with both of you guys because I also think Tech is loaded enough. They won't have to rely on Sorsby.
Right.
They can utilize that running game.
That was an issue this year.
They need a gamer. Like, they need and what I think they got in Sorsby, we'll see if it plays out, is they need a gamer. But I'm not convinced Sorsby is that dude because of what I saw in big games for Cincinnati.
All right, guys, last topic, valid or void. The Big 12 will have two teams in the college football playoff in 2026.
Valid! I think the committee is going to be sick of sending 5 SEC teams to the playoff only to see all of them lose before the semifinals. Give me some new blood. If history is any indication, the committee is going to be a little bit fatigued with the SEC continually laying an egg in the playoff. The Big 12 was as close this year to having 2 bids as it was. It was much further last year. I think another year brings them closer. And I think Brett Yormark lobbying, as he's done, helps to push the Big 12 over the edge. And I think consistency over time helps. Texas Tech being good again, being elite, being undefeated again will be a good litmus test for everybody else. Valid. Book it. 2 teams into the college ball playoff next year out of the Big 12.
Yeah, where these teams are ranked in the AP Top 25 is going to look very different next year. I would think BYU would start the season as a preseason top 15 team, even though they haven't been ranked to start a year in forever. Texas Tech will probably be a preseason top 10, maybe even a top 5 team. But I'm going to validate this. I would love to void it, but until ESPN and SEC loses their power, I'll believe it when I see it. I would have thought that if you had told me at the end of the year that, hey, this is what BYU's resume looks like, this is what Utah's resume looks like, I would have said, absolutely, the league has 2, maybe even 3 teams in, and we only got 1. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. But until I see it, I'm going to have to say that that is valid.
That's all I got, guys. I agree with both you guys, by the way.
Okay. There you go.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. I'd say good stuff. I'd rate that an 8 out of 10.
The stuff was good.
The stuff was good.
An 8 out of 10.
Maybe a 9.5. I don't know.
Say 7.5.
Okay. Taliah Scott, she's a baller. Baylor women's basketball guard, averaging 20 per game. Had the game winner in Baylor's huge win at Iowa State, and she joins us next here on Big 12 Radio. Back inside Big 12 today here on Big 12 Radio, brought to you the full-time fan by our friends at Modelo with Ari Timken. I'm James Westling. We welcome in the Big 12 Player of the Week, Taliah Scott. She is a bucket getter. Good morning, Taliah.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Man, we're great. You had 21 points, all in the second half. You hit the game-winning jumper with 2.9 seconds left. Baylor gets the 72-70 upset win at Iowa State. You scored all of your points in the second half, the final two quarters. So tell us, what in the world did you do at halftime?
Yeah, no, I think it was just my teammates breeding confidence into me. I know the first half, I didn't play that much, and I also wasn't doing as well as I thought I would be doing. And so just coming back into the locker room, my teammates saying, like, I believe in you. You're going to make your shots. You're going to do this. The coaches expressing, like, look, we need you. We need you. We need you to step up. And so being able to come out in that second half, my teammates looking for me, my coaches putting me in positions to be able to do what I know I can do. And I was just able to make some shots in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, what gets you going in the second half? Is it just seeing the ball go in, or is it just your confidence?
Yeah, I think it's some of both. Of course, seeing the ball go in after having a cold stretch in the first half always helps, but also confidence in knowing that, I've worked and that it's going to eventually go my way because I put in the work. And then also just having people around me that believe in me so much and support me so much. It also raised my confidence and allowed me to do what I was able to do.
All right, so at halftime, there's no like energy drink or meditation that takes place. You just keep sawing wood.
Yes, I'm just locked in. I might take a little pickle juice shot, here and there. I feel like, pickle juice is one of my favorite things to drink. So I'll take a little pickle juice shot, energy, something like that. But, just keep my head on straight and knowing that things are going to turn around for me.
This is your first year at Baylor, and first 2 years you spent at Arkansas and Auburn. Why Baylor, and is this the right spot for you?
Yeah, I think why Baylor, just the atmosphere, the team environment, the culture that Nikki Khan has created amongst her team. First talking about the players, like it's such a great and supportive environment. Like we love each other so much. It's an actual family environment, right? And then Nikki Khan and her coaching staff, like they know what they're doing. They know how to put people in positions to be successful. They know how to win games. And so coming here and wanting to be a part of that and a part of a winning culture, Baylor has a legacy of winning, right? And I wanted to be a part of that. And I think it's been the perfect fit for me so far, whether offensively, whether defensively, whether off the court, on the court. Like, it's just been a perfect fit for me, and I love it here.
Taliah Scott, the Big 12 Player of the Week, averaged over 20 points per game this week. 2 massive road wins for Baylor women's basketball. A come-from-behind victory at Oklahoma State, and then a road win at Iowa State. Taliah, take us back to the Oklahoma State game. Like, we're watching some highlights here on Big 12 Studios, and you guys were down by a lot, and then it's just bucket after bucket from you.
Yeah, I think, we called, I know when we got down, Nikki called a timeout. And, she kind of went in on us. It was like, we're not being tough enough. We're not giving enough effort. That's the reason that we're down, right? We just weren't tough enough. And I felt like we responded well to that. We came out. We were like, we're not going to lose this game, right? We're going to come out. We're going to play with effort. We got to get stops. I felt like our defense had dropped some. And we know that our offense thrives off of our defense. And so coming out there knowing we have to get stop after stop, and we have to be able to score the ball off of those stops and get out in transition where, we can score. And so I feel like we did a great job of just the mental toughness piece of it. I felt like nobody dropped their head. Nobody was like, oh, we're out of it. Like, we still had a full almost 2 quarters left to play, right? And so being able to just have the mental toughness to go out there and keep competing and keep chipping away, and then at the end be disciplined enough, especially like in our senior point guard that we have, Jana Van Geitenbeek, being disciplined enough to get us into actions, run the clock down, and then she was able to score some big buckets down the stretch for us.
Yeah, I'm curious, was there anything you guys did defensively to Audie Crooks? Because she was really off of her spots all game.
Yeah, I think, first of all, I think our post did a phenomenal job. I think KJ, Kyla, and Kayla did a phenomenal job of guarding her. And I know KJ got some blocks on her, but I just think they really competed down there. And then our game plan just to sag off of certain people on the court and to help kind of double down in the second half. I think that made all the difference in the world. And then being able to rebound out of that and push it in transition. I think that when we started getting stops, our post holding it down for us down there, we were able to get out in transition, get some early screens, some early drags, some early step ups, and really be able to get to our spots late.
Talking with Taliah Scott, Baylor women's basketball here on Big 12 Radio. Taliah, what's your major?
My major is communications. I'm trying to go into sports broadcasting actually when I finish playing. So yeah,
that's amazing. Okay, and I asked.
Natural.
I was gonna say I asked that question because you're a pro already.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm not kidding. Like I was gonna ask you about your mental processing speed because you are answering. You're like finishing our sentences. It is really impressive.
Thank you. Yes, I'm trying to get some practice in because I really want to be a broadcaster. Try to hopefully work for ESPN when I'm done playing, cover college games and stuff. So hopefully.
Now, are you looking at like you want to be an analyst, you want to be in studio, and where are you at in that process?
Well, I think I kind of want to be an analyst, or even just like kind of call games, like you know how they be at the games, and they're calling them and stuff from there, and kind of being like an announcer. But I don't know. I just kind of want to, whatever keeps me around the sport. And I feel like I have joy, like whatever it is talking about, like the sport, like I'm going to be fine, whatever job or wherever that takes me.
Tell us about Nikki Collin. You know, what stands out to you about her as a coach, especially somebody that's been in a few programs that has a good sense of how other programs are run or how their coaches go.
Yeah, first of all, I think that she has a really great personality. She's so easy to connect with. I love talking to her. I love being around her, and I love picking her mind. I think she has like the highest probably basketball IQ that I've been around. And she knows how to put people in position. She knows how to exploit defenses and stuff. And I think she's one of like the best play callers that I've ever been coached by. And I just think that her ability to process the game and to make quick decisions, and to change stuff up during the course of the game, like I think it's unreal. And I think she's one of the best coaches. I know she's one of the best coaches that I've played for, and I think she's one of the best coaches in the country. But I think just her and how she holds the team to a standard. Like we have a standard that no matter who you are, no matter whether you're first person off the bench, you're starting, you're the last person off the bench, she holds us all to the same standard and the same discipline. And I feel like that really helps, no matter who you are on the team, that helps elevate your game and that helps rise whatever you can do and make you better. And I think she's just an amazing coach, and she's surrounded herself with a really great coaching staff. And I love being around them, and I love being coached by them.
Taliah Scott joins us here on Big 12 Today on Big 12 Radio. Now, your coach, Coach Collin, told us, let's see, we had her on after the opening weekend, after you guys went over to France and beat Duke. She came on our show, and she was telling us that her hidden talent is that she can rap. How many times have you heard her rap?
I think she might have rapped one time I think we had a visit. She rapped one time at a visit, and I'm not going to lie. The rap, it wasn't bad. It was not bad. I was like, okay, you might have a career in this after you finish coaching. But it was kind of funny. I've heard her rap one time, and I will say that I'll give it like an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was funny.
What's your hidden talent then?
Hidden talent? Well, I love art. Like I can draw, I can paint, like anything really art. Like I love that, and I get that from my dad. My dad was like loved to paint, loved to draw and stuff, and so he passed that talent on to me.
Do you have any favorite artists?
I don't really like go and like look at art and stuff, but I just like drawing just like in my free time.
What do you like to draw?
I like cartoon. Like I'm not a real illustrator. I can't draw like all the real stuff. And no. I'm more like cartoon, like graffiti, that type of stuff.
Awesome.
Like around that. And then like painting, like I like using acrylic paint and stuff. And then I'm trying to get into ceramics right now. So.
That's awesome.
Man, that's awesome. Taliah Scott, this has been an impressive interview. Hey, before we let you go, I do want to ask, because you're on the Baylor campus, are the kids on campus, are you guys talking much about James Najee and the whole NBA to Baylor men's? I know you guys are so siloed into your season, but I'm just curious what the buzz is.
Oh yeah, I think everybody's really excited about him. I know seeing him in the facility and stuff, like everybody is extremely. He's a really cool. But I think I've talked to him like once or twice since he's been on campus. He's a really cool person. I love his personality, all that stuff. But yeah, I think everybody's just excited to see what he can do. And what he can bring to the men's team. I think we already have a really good men's team. And then adding him will only make the team better. So I think everybody's really excited about it.
Yeah, that's well said. Well, you guys are balling out right now. 2 huge road wins this week. I know you're getting ready for Colorado on Thursday. Congrats on all the success and keep doing your thing.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
You bet. Taliah Scott, the leading scorer at 21 points per game for the Baylor women's basketball team, who is on a roll with wins at Oklahoma State and at Iowa State. They take down a top 10 Iowa State team on the road. Taliah Scott had 21 points all in the second half, including the game winner, knocked down a jumper with 2.9 seconds to go. This is Big 12 Today on Big 12 Radio. We'll wrap up the show with the Tuesday Tune-In. Coming up next, he's Ari, I'm James. This is Big 12 Radio brought to you by Modelo. One final time here on Big 12 Today on Big 12 Radio. This is the Big 12 Conference. This is a different league. Taliah Scott joined us just moments ago. Big 12 women's basketball player. Hit the game winner at Iowa State with 2.9 seconds left. Had 21 points, her season average, but she did it all in a half. If you missed that interview, or Rachel Galligan, or Bryce Cherry from the Waco Tribune Herald, you can catch it wherever you get your favorite podcast, Apple, Spotify here. Tune in on demand. He's Ari, I'm James. Texas Tech is expected to land Oklahoma State edge rusher, transfer Wendell Gregory. Crystal ball projection from 24/7 Sports.
The Big 12 All-Star team. Real quick, can I need to bring something up that's been kind of bothering me today.
Is that why you've had so many size? It's been a lot of size. Your SPS is off the charts, size per segment.
Yeah? What is it? What am I running at
Size
today?
per segment. I'd say like a 4.7.
That's ridiculous. I'd like a recount. At least one. At most one. Maybe two.
What about size per commercial break?
So there's been a lot of wishing people a Happy New Year today.
Yeah?
Feels like we're a little bit late on that, no?
I mean, we're 6 days past, yes.
I mean, how long is this going to go on for? Are we going to be in March? And
how many people did we wish Happy New Year?
It's just we're past the deadline here, okay? My deadline is January 3rd. After January 3rd, there's no more Happy New Year's.
It depends.
This is the most get off my lawn energy of all time.
It does not depend.
No, because see,
in a society, there are rules. You can't just go all willy-nilly wishing people a Happy New Year all year. We could be in March wishing people a Happy New Year?
Yeah.
New Year's was on a Thursday, so that means nobody was around on Friday.
Like everybody's just now getting back into the swing of things.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, you wish a Happy New Year to the people you care about, so you don't have to wait until you see them at work on the Monday when you don't do it, right? I mean, that's how this goes, okay? I don't make the rules. I just ascribe to them.
Okay, so it's too late. So we're done with the Happy New Year.
We've been done.
We've been done.
3 days at least.
I won't say it again. I don't think I've said it.
See, Ari,
oh my James, you are captain.
I don't think I've said
Ari,
it.
I disagree
All right,
with.
So we talked about it for 5 minutes. I asked you if you had any New Year's resolutions.
What needs to be done is people who still have their Christmas lights up, and they still light them up every night. Because I've seen a couple of houses in my neighborhood.
Well, don't get me started on that. On December 26th, I'm already pointing at houses. Christmas was yesterday. Get up and get going. Let's go.
We still have our... Wait, no, we don't. No, our Christmas tree's not up anymore. Actually, I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it's up. It's definitely still up. Yeah, our Christmas tree is still up.
Wow.
It's still up there.
You know what I might start doing?
It's still up there. Everything else is down. Christmas tree's still up there. My wife said she likes it.
I may start going...
I think we're going to keep it year-round.
I may start going door to door in a Santa costume, policing it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dress up like Santa and go policing door to door. Hey, your lights are still on. It's over. It's over. What, are you waiting until next year?
I'm headed back to the North Pole.
I'm headed back to the North Pole. All right, I'm on my way. I happen to see you still have Christmas lights up. I don't even know this. It's January 6th, okay? And don't wish me a Happy New Year.
Oh, that's amazing.
I don't even think about it.
No, man. I would love to be your neighbor. Like, there was a neighbor that posted last night on Facebook. This got us fired up. It blows my mind that we don't have trash bins. Do you have a trash bin? Do you have a trash bin for your trash, your outdoor trash?
Yes.
The trash.
Yeah, where are you? What?
Richardson doesn't do trash bins. We don't have trash bins.
I don't understand. So where do you? How did they?
Where do you take your trash? Great question. We take it out. We just set it outside in the alley.
Just trash bags.
Yes.
You know, there's
bags
the
of trash.
store-
What?
Yes. It's not just us. It's the city.
What year is this?
I know.
You know, there's a store called Home Depot and Lowe's where you can buy one.
No, they won't pick it up.
Yeah, they won't pick it up.
They won't pick it up.
Really?
Yeah, because it's something to do with the alleys are too tight for their I don't know, their trucks, whatever. It's a budget thing. Who knows? Yeah, we physically twice a week. I go to the garage where we store our trash in these giant trash bags and have to carry them one at a time or however many I can grab to the back of the house and put them in the alley. Tell me about it.
It's ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
So last night, some lady on Facebook posts, and she's complaining about her neighbor who's putting their trash out too early. Animals are getting in it. She doesn't want to wake up in the morning with boxes of Cheerios.
Yeah.
So she said that to be respectful to your neighbors, the trash gets picked up really early, like 7:30 or 8 a.m. She says that you shouldn't be able to put your trash outside until 6 a.m. on the day of pickup.
Where are you communicating with your neighbor? What is
This
this?
is some Facebook group.
Okay, that's your first problem.
Well, I'm not. Some neighborhood Facebook group. It wasn't us that they were talking about, which I
understand.
totally thought it was.
Yeah.
At first.
That would not surprise me at all. But why are you active on a community Facebook?
I'm not. My wife is.
got
Oh,
it.
she's all over it, dude. She's in those comments. Like, she's clapping back. She had some really good points. I was like, oh, you served her. Like, it's over. It's done. People do travel. People are out of town sometimes. People do have children. People do have disabilities. Karen. Like, just totally smoked her.
What are these in reference to?
Just totally destroyed her.
People do have disabilities.
Now, I'm on my neighborhood's Facebook page, but I don't comment. I'm just nosy, and I read what other people say. I don't ever say anything now. Is that okay?
You guys have too much
Story
time.
of my life.
You guys have too much time.
I just want to know what's going on in the
You're not
neighborhood.
in any,
I don't
like,
want to
neighborhood community groups.
No.
It's probably a good thing.
If I want to know what's going on in the neighborhood, I walk around the neighborhood.
If you're being asked to sit this one out at your son's doubleheader youth baseball game, you might not want to be on there. I don't know what they're saying about you. Yeah, Timken went nuts.
Be like
on
that
this
guy in the
official.
Timken house.
We had to ask him to not come back. We told him don't show up for the 3 p.m.
Somebody
game.
told him Happy New Year, and he
Oh,
just
yeah.
went off.
What grade are the
About
kids?
I waved Happy New Year.
What grades are the kids in that he's getting kicked? Oh, just pre-K. This is a pre-K baseball team. He's getting kicked out
PK
of.
baseball. That's amazing.
Look, I just everybody else is wrong. I'm right. I'm just misunderstood.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
January 3rd.
So, see,
I'm not the only one, by the way.
It took me a good, probably close to a year
In fact-
to fully understand you. And now that I do, he just wants to be heard, Taman.
I went to
He just wants to be heard.
Let his voice be heard.
I went to a restaurant the other day. Guy says Happy New Year, and then somebody else looked at me. We gave each other like knowing glances. Like it's too late for that. Like it's.
How old was this guy?
And I go, January 5th, huh?
You gave him that look. Like, that's the most condescending look I've ever seen in my
I
life.
looked at my watch, which doesn't even have the date on it. I'm like, January 5th, huh? Whew. All right. I guess anything goes then.
Anything goes. Anything
I
goes.
just took my pants off.
That's amazing. I don't.
Wait, was this the waiter who you did this to?
No, it was the host.
The host?
Oh, I would have been
supposed to be over the top friendly.
I would have been so
that's
petty.
not over the top friendly.
They wish
Welcome
you had
in.
New Year and you
I
got
would have
Great
been
to have
like,
you with us.
I would have been like, we don't have any tables. You have to
Happy
wait.
New Year.
You ever
An hour wait.
love when you're at a restaurant and when they say, "Have you ever been here before? Is this your first time dining with us?"
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Like, what are they gonna
It's a
s-
lot of pressure.
What are they gonna say?
Especially like when my wife's been somewhere and I haven't. Like, it's way too confusing. I panic. It's her first time here, and it's like me, no, but she's been here. She can tell me all the things on the menu, but I haven't been here, but I'd like to be here, and now I'm here. I'm here now. And I'm ready.
It's a simple
for this
yes or no
dinner
question,
experience.
James. I love like people have to tell the truth. Like you're being hooked up to a lie detector
Right,
test.
I know.
Like I never say yes, even if it is,
Really?
because I don't want to know what happens if it is my
I
first
can't
time.
do
there.
it. I can't do it.
And also, like, what is that? Are you gonna do like something extra special? Or are you gonna be like, oh, let's give them the real food now? Little wink, wink.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Oh, you get him.
It's your first time dining with us? Yeah. So what of it? What are you gonna do? Make me real food this time? Next time I come back, it won't be real food.
You're not wrong.
I just want to understand if you understand how this works. Yeah. I look at the menu, I order off of the menu, and then you bring
You're
the
right,
food to
though,
me.
because they ask so they can tell you like the 18 specials for the day.
Yeah.
It takes forever.
By the way, if I've been here before, the specials are probably new.
Yeah. Another fair
It's your
point.
first time dining with us? Yes. I'm so ashamed.
Yeah, I feel that way too sometimes. It's like I don't get out much. My wife's been here 7 times with her friends, but it's my first.
It's my first. Is there something special I get to do? I get to dance? You put like a crown on me and get to dance around the restaurant?
Oh, that's good. So yesterday we're having a Zoom call. All you fine fellows were on it.
Yeah, the
With our
three of
boss,
us
the
and our
three of
boss,
us, the
Edgar.
three of us and our boss. We're on this little tight-knit community Zoom call, and all of a sudden the power went out at my home.
Well, let me just tell you from our vantage point how it went down. By the way, James never puts his video on for Zoom.
Okay, I popped the video on halfway through.
Never puts his
I
Zoom
was
on.
so on video.
He is always off video. And then so Edgar's talking through some things, and then boom, James is gone. Edgar goes, "Wow, must have been something I said."
That's literally what happened. Really? Yeah. That's literally what happened.
No, you guys like froze. I thought you were all doing the Joe Flacco.
And then James gives us the whole the power went out.
Sure.
No,
The power went out.
and it was
On a sunny day in Dallas, Texas.
I'm telling you, the power went out. Whole house shuts down. Okay? No storms in the area. No rolling blackouts that I'm aware of. Just the power gone in a flash.
Is this part of your Richardson thing? Was this because there's too much trash bags out in your alley?
So I checked my phone. My phone wasn't working for a hot minute. Like I turned the Wi-Fi off. I'm like, I'll use my data. Nothing on my phone. I panicked. I mean, panicked. Like no signal, no bars, no internet. It's where my brain said this isn't a utility issue. This is
China.
Global event. I thought it was the apocalypse.
Like finally China's coming for us.
I thought we had been, for a split second, I thought we'd been hacked. I thought satellites were down.
He thought it was Y2K in 2026.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Every password that I own is now public. I thought we had all been hacked.
You have the same password for
So I
everything.
fire off a text to you. I was like, all right, is your power out?
We know
working.
your password for everything is
8
Wildcat
minutes to
85.
go through.
We know your password for everything is Wildcat 85.
Wildcat 85?
We know that that's your password for
Are
everything.
you stalking me? How do you know
Capital
that?
W.
Yes. There's a may or may not
And you
be
wonder
an
how you got hacked.
underscore involved. But I thought we were headed back to like the Bronze Age for a second. I mean, I was in meltdown mode.
Doesn't take much.
Where are the candles? I knew it was not good.
No, I mean, we're pretty powerless without power.
Right.
Yeah, it was called Texas in 2021 during the winter
Bro,
storm.
if we get hacked digitally,
All right,
we're
you were here
done.
for that, right?
We
Oh, yeah.
are done. I listen to podcasts. I've been listening to some pods.
Oh, yeah?
We're done. We're toast.
Okay. Do you have any updates on your podcast listening? If
where
you've
am
been
I at?
following along, James is extremely sophisticated. He's a podcast listener.
It's no big deal.
Pinky's up when he's listening.
No, it's just, listening to a couple pods here and there. Does the government have a secret craft that can travel 200 times faster than the speed of light? Yes, they do. But that's just one side note.
200
podcast.
200 times the speed of light.
Yeah.
Why not 300?
I think they're stuck at like 215.
Why not 400? The speed of light's pretty fast, isn't
Pretty
it not?
fast. No, it's pretty fast.
It's almost instantaneous.
Just a little reverse engineering stuff. It's no big deal.
So where are you trying to go that fast?
Really into ancient civilization stuff. There's just a lot of stuff we don't know.
Is that how we time travel?
Probably.
Speed of light?
Yeah, probably.
Sweet.
Are we here right now? I don't know. Did you see Joe Flacco? Did you see Joe Flacco on the bench? He was like frozen in time. So there's a glitch in the Matrix.
What are you talking about?
You didn't see the Joe Flacco thing?
Is this a real thing?
Yes.
I've not.
Hang on. Search it. Joe Flacco.
You don't even watch sports. How do you know about
Matrix.
this and I don't?
Joe Flacco is frozen in time on the bench in the Browns game. There's a shot of him on the bench, and he looks frozen. Joe Flacco frozen.
Well, he's just old. I don't that's what old people do.
It is weird. Yeah, no, it's weird. It is some weird stuff. Well, now I can't find it. It's probably been deleted from the internet because they don't want us to know. Who's they? I don't know. Here it is. Warren Sharp, Sharp Football, December 28th.
He's smiling.
December 28th, 2025.
He's just
He doesn't
smiling.
look frozen.
He looks happy and smiling.
He's frozen.
You're listening to way too many conspiracy podcasts.
I'm on a heater right now. A real heater. All right, that's going to probably do it for us.
Is this what you had planned in the final segment here?
Nope. No.
Joe,
not at
you're
all.
like, and then we'll get into Joe Flacco being frozen to the
No.
sideline, and
No.
voila,
Nope. None of it.
none of it.
None of it. Totally off the cuff. That's it. That's what we do.
All right, Happy New Year to you.
So I'll never say that again to anybody.
No, January 1st, December 31st, you're all good. Pretty much any day post-Christmas, and then January 3rd.
So the window is between Christmas and New Year.
December 26th to January 3rd.
After
That's your
New
window.
Year, you can't say Happy New Year.
So let me ask you this: next year, New Year's is on a Friday, so the 3rd is a Sunday. What happens when everybody goes back to work?
Do you wish?
Oh my God! It's going to be a new Happy New Year frenzy
Do you wish
on that Monday.
Do you wish the people that you care about a Happy New Year?
Well, I was dealing with others.
Oh, I have to wait for the weekend to wish all the other people that I don't really care about.
That's some other
and I have
stuff
to just
going
say
on.
throwaway Happy New Year too.
How many people did you text Happy New Year?
A lot.
Did you?
Millions.
You didn't text
You didn't
us.
yeah. What? Well, all right.
Well,
Cool.
pretty sure I did.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
have to go back and
We'll have to
look.
roll the tape. Taman, who we got on tomorrow?
Right now we have Chancellor Johnson.
Okay. Big 12 analyst,
have right
content creator is going to join us tomorrow on the show.
You're really grasping for straws right now.
Yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up. He's Ari Tipkin. I'm James Westling. T-Chains, Taman Turner, our producer on the audio side. Anthony Smith on the video side. We'll be back tomorrow from 8 to 11 Eastern Time. This has been Big 12 Today on Big 12 Radio, powered by Modelo on TuneIn and Big 12 Studios. We're out for now.
Peace.